With the time check on the clock, 24 minutes past 9 o'clock. So come on, it's Wednesday night in Liberia. So we're gonna get signal from our team, and as soon
We
we
live.
get
We
from
live.
yeah,
We live.
yeah, from Judas and Dr. Peabody would definitely believe your main studio to join the team right here on the closing argument. So with the time check on the clock, 25 minutes past 9 o'clock. Let's leave our main studio and join Dr. Peabody and the rest of the team here on closing argument here. Connect. It is the midweek edition. It's Wednesday, the 19th day in the month of June, 2024.
Yeah, man, it is so good to see you, Ansu and Henry. It's still good to see all of you guys on this Wednesday evening, on the Wednesday's edition of the Closing Acumen. Guys, we'd like to welcome all of you to the Closing Acumen, and as you join us, we ask that you please share. Tonight, we are looking forward to another fascinating show. There's a lot of things happening in Liberia, and we plan to just bring it to you the best way we can. We were expecting the group from the Firestone Association that should be joining us. They're going to be having a special reunion in New Jersey this week, and we were going to have them on to talk to them for at least 20 or 30 minutes before the show, but we haven't gotten signal from any one of them, so we'll just continue. But guys, we'd like to welcome you to Closing Argument. Ansu, what's going on in Liberia, Ansu? Tell me what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much, Dr. Peabody. Good again to be live tonight on the closing argument here on Truth FM. So let me say thanks again to your team. Back home, we just experiencing rain, and it is heavy flood around Monrovia and other parts of the country. I know there are so many areas, communities, or maybe town being affected by the rain since the past 5 days now. Been raining, so and normally in Liberia, for us here, some of the major causes when it comes to the water issue, especially taking homes, the roads, sometimes it's due to people building on the waterway. So sometimes you have the water is not really flowing. The drainages in other areas is clogged. You don't have that type of free flow of the water. Some build, right under the waterway, so you don't really have the water really flowing freely. So we've been experiencing flood, and there are a lot of homes and being affected. So I think that for you guys on our side, you people been seeing the trending on the internet back home here, how so many homes are being affected. Also, Montserrat, other parts of Liberia, like Grand Bassa County, homes also, got affected by the rain. So, as I said, most often here in Liberia, it's due to how, when it comes to people building and building on the waterway or sometimes the drainages and other stuff, so you don't have the free flow of water. So there are a lot of homes being affected, and so many SOS called to stakeholders or lawmakers and top government officials. So people looking up to them. The entire team of when it comes to the disaster team back home here, also they are calling on to them to see how best the lawmaker can try to meet up with the rightful authority to see how best we can solve for some of the water issue. But as I said, the rain really been falling, and there are a lot of homes been affected for the past days.
Well, it's sad, and there's a lot of flooding going on in Liberia with the rain and all these things that are happening. It's really bad, just the rainy season, and you got this speck but I know it's just crazy with the flooding. But it's really hot here today. It's about probably 90, 94 degrees. I was driving home from work, and it was extremely hot. I mean, really, really hot when I got in my
Mm.
car. Probably had to take me almost 15 minutes to get the air condition to come on and all of that. But wow, it's a change of weather. I know how bad it is when it rains in Monrovia. Most of the places are flooded and all of that. But nature. So we have to do the best we can. But guys, I'm looking forward to a very exciting show tonight. Some of our team will be joining us shortly. I don't know whether Henry were able to cue that video in. It's about the Liberian the Association in Europe. Uh, uh, they're going to be having a great program celebrating July 26th
Mm-mm.
in Germany. It's going to be in Germany this year, and I think the senator for Buffalo County will be the guest speaker. Senator Amara Kone and also Sir Joseph will be attending as well. But we'll bring that to you if we can get that video queued in. But let me just welcome some of our fan here. Christian
Mm.
Robert, he was the first to be here. Welcome, Christian. Uh, Juj One Wet, good evening. I'm following you from Johnsonville. Emmanuel Ma, I'm watching from Boston. Emmanuel, good to see you. Boston, Massachusetts. Good to see you, Emmanuel. Aliyu Kamar, hey Aliyu, good to see you, my friend. Rose Rossman, welcome, Rose. Aaron Zian, welcome. Hassan, good morning from South Korea. Oh, my friend, good morning from Seoul, South Korea. I remember I was in Seoul. I think it was yes back 1998. I went there with my university at the time, Truett McConnell College in Georgia, and I was there for over 9 weeks. So it's a beautiful place. Hassan, I don't know whether you know the place they call Itaewon. Itaewon is a major shopping area, man. They sell some of the best suits and Nike sneakers, Itaewon in South Korea. But beautiful place. Big Smoke, good day, God day Williams. Welcome. Guys, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we gotta share the show, man. We're looking forward to an excitement. Real excitement tonight. And then we have J. Emmanuel Negawa. Hey, buddy, good to see you. And our own sister, Winifred Smith. Good afternoon. Watching from St. Thomas. Oh wow, St. Thomas Island. Girl, I hope you're enjoying your vacation and having a great time with your family, man. I hope you're having a good time, Winifred. Enjoy the time with your family. Enjoy yourself, and chill. It's the vacation time. And John Saki coming, watching from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ooh, that's cool area too, from Atlantic City. Good place. Some of the best major casinos and other things there in Atlantic City. Good to see you guys. Elizabeth Bowen, good to see you. And as you log on, let's share and share. But there's something special going on in Liberia. It's the Wahala, as I would call it, among the senators and the money that they took. And we saw Senator Amara Kane and others were writing, rebuttal to that money that was given in Buchanan. I understand that have really upset the Liberian people a lot. Liberian people are really mad, really upset, about the senator taking money and going on retreat. You see, the smart thing here is the senator could have asked for help for people to sponsor them, when they went to battle for the retreat. Just what the House is doing. The House is having a retreat, but the House is not taking money, but they are asking NGO to sponsor the retreat. And that's a very, very smart move. That way you don't take money from the color. I understand that the executive is not really working with the House. They refuse to give their 2 months package and all of that, but the senator can get thousands of dollars to go and have a merry-make for 2 days, and then go under the umbrella of Senator Sir Joseph as if they were presenting medication. They should have taken those. They should have taken that $10,000 if they were serious. Say, hey, we're gonna give $10,000 to the people of Basel to renovate the hospital since we came here. Everybody took it, pocketed it, and gave it away. And at the end of the day, they were hiding on one person to give medication and medical supplies to a hospital. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was fair and to justify to them it's bad. I've been hearing rumors uh, that Senator Amar Kone was taking the money back to the bank. I'm not sure. That information is not confirmed, but I know. At this point, it's hard to even talk. Memphis Dupu. I don't know. I won't call them criminal Memphis. I won't do that. I still respect the law and respect the senator. There are some great ones there. And there are some of them that are just calm. Some of them who are lying on the plane ticket, the rope business, sometimes say they ain't rob business class, and all those small scams is not correct. You know. Yeah, Hassan, yeah, you do either one, man. I hope I can come back to each one again in the future, man. It just the flight is too long. But I mean, it's sad from what I'm hearing, what's going on and what happened in the Senate. There are some of them there who are only concerned about getting money. They're concerned about nothing. They're not concerned with bringing any development to the county. And some of them are just there, boom, the first check. There are some there. Some of them they are already sanctioned. Abache. Abache is a big criminal. You put him on a major committee for I think public works and all of that. You put him on the committee. You got Prince Johnson. He's there. He took his quietly. Did not even make up say a word. Took his money quietly and give it away. No quit is sanctioned. And these are people who have made millions of dollars out of the Liberian people. But yet still we sit there and adore them like king, like some of the best people, at one time. It's very, very sad. It's wrong. I think I applaud what the Hus did. The Hus went about getting somebody to sponsor them, like NGOs to sponsor them to go for the retreat. That's the best thing they did. I think that's a very smart move, and nobody can come up and say that the representative did not. That's a very smart move by the House. I think with some level of transparency that we can see from the House, because Chairman Kofa is on top of things. There are people that are really calling for a lot of reform in the legislature. We have Honorable Musa Ability. He's calling for reform as well. He's calling for audit. They want, and others are working. So apparently it seems like this is really pissing the executive off, and you give one branch the money, but you're leaving another group out. They're not supposed to get benefits and things like that. I think it's unfair. It's really, really unfair, and Liberian people are really upset. Unfortunately, some people got caught in this. And one thing I know about Liberia, when your name get caught in a little cookie jar, bother to take it out of half, because whether it's true or not, it's going to go. It's going to go, and I know how the Liberian people so I know how it's going to go, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, for anybody to come and say I'm the clean hand. We had a guy like DeLong, Senator DeLong, who came up and said that, oh yeah, we're going to give all his pay, every little thing was in the news. You ever hear anything like that again? You hear nothing. You're not hearing anything about him. So it's really sad. But as I was saying, when you get in the cookie jar, whether you are just putting your hand on it or in a minute, you get caught. The Liberian people, your name gone. I don't care what you do, what you change, your name is gone. And as I said, there are some very good senators. There are some great ones, and but unfortunately, it's just sad. You see, on the 22nd, the House, the House of Representatives will be meeting in Magibi County. This program is being sponsored directly by the UNDP. I think the guys are smart. So we're not playing with this. We're not playing with this. We're not going to mess with people if I didn't get caught up in cooking jars. So the smart thing was to do to engage. You got to know that the government don't have that much money. You're spending $500,000 for a 2 or 3 days trip, or let's say a weekend. $500,000. $500 and almost 50 or $60,000 you are spending. I mean, for a country that employees, some of the government employees haven't gotten paid, you laying off 40,000 people, and you go for a 2 days retreat. The house say, you know what? We're not going that route. We'll tap into opportunities around us that we can get grants and have our retreat. And I think that's a beautiful move that the house have done. They're going to have that retreat on the 22nd. I have a little outline of what's going to be happening on the 22nd. They have unification, welcome remark, the UNDP, UNW, all going to be there, and that's beautiful. You're involving these people at your retreat. So I mean, you both of you guys can exchange, chit chat and things like that, you know, uh, 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 and get things going. But I mean, just 2 days. These people were in half a mil, 2 days, half a mil. I mean, I think most story will come up on that stuff. Most story, uh, and just some of the things that we're going to be discussing in Robertsville, you know, effective constituent representation. Beautiful topic. It's really important that this be be taught. People listen to it, and I'm glad that the house is able to bring in our partners, European partners, and other UNDP to come in and be part of this because they are learning. They are learning from both sides. They are. This is what we call real group working together, putting act together. But soon the budget part, the money drop, boom, to the retreat. You go into Nimla, you're getting almost half a million. If you check it out, maybe probably more than 500,000. I'm probably just not sure of the exact amount, but probably 500,000 going coming. And this has really, really pissed the Liberian people off. They have really, really pissed the Liberian people off. It's too early, especially those crime, wolf, and things like that. They should really, transparency, international. We are declare all the different writing we see going on. Let JFK there. JFK ain't even got good electricity. JFK ain't even got medicine. People go there. I went to JFK. In fact, 2 years ago, my organization donated almost 200,000 worth of brand new medical supplies from Ohio to JFK. So I know what the people go through. The administrator at the time took me around the entire hospital to see how bad it was. Some floor are not even functioning, not even working. Go and see the place that some of the patients are. You would put your hands on your head and cry. And the man said, if we can spend $1 million every year on a wall, renovate this wall, renovate another wall, you know what's going to happen? But people sit there. It's all about you like me. You like me to a position all about myself. It's all about me. I think this is wrong. I think those who really went in there to take the money, they really were not in the interest of Liberian people. But the Liberian people keep making the same mistake. Somebody said this, and I didn't want people to say, "Oh, because you support Mr. Cummins." Mr. Cummins said this. You can't do the same thing or expect something new. You can. It's not going to change. It's just not going to change, and that's how sometimes. But we make the same mistake. Oh, he's the right person. He's the right person. Oh, that man, the right person for us. We can't sit back. We don't like people who will come to bring change. We don't. We don't like it. And we're still saying the same old thing. Here and there, people violating the Minister of Public Work. Went to the Senate after he violated a lot of PPCC law. What happened? And they stood there and said they were begging for him. The senator said we'll beg for him. Is that is that serious leadership? Eh? The man come there, the man said, look, I violated this. I didn't go through this channel. I didn't do that. Okay? The people who should be holding him to tax and punishing say, oh, they're getting on the floor, say, oh, we begging for him. What's wrong with us? The senators that you elected to represent you say it's okay. It's okay to do it. It's a so we can violate it. We can, so we'll beg for you, go and come. I don't do it next time. And then you think anything good gonna come out of that? That's why we see our country. It is what it is. It's not no result. People get sick from minor things in that country. Headache, diarrhea. Some people die from diarrhea. They go to JFK. No response. No medical response. If you're living in places like Bass or bumming on the highway and fall off at night, it left for you and your God. I remember I think it was last year. Last year I went to Liberia and it was not this year, but I went to Liberia and I was in Nimba, and we were driving back from Nimba around like 12 midnight. We had some work we're doing. I wanted to see the school and all of them. And we're driving back from Rover, and I got to a place in Liberia, in Bunk County, where there were no cell phone signal, nothing there. And we got to a place where an accident had just taken place. The accident had just taken place, and there were over 4 bodies lying there. 4 bodies. And apparently a taxi overloaded, and going down the curve, kind of somersaulted, and everybody there pretty much dead. When we got to the scene, the body was all there, and I thought it was like somebody had washed their clothes and put it up at night to get dry, because they just had them covered like that. And we stopped, and it was body. I said to myself, I had another friend with me, and I asked him, and my brother, I said, what do we do? And then he said, look, Peabody, these folks are dead. There's nothing we can do. The closest hospital around that place was about an hour 30 or hour 45 minutes drive. And those people had an accident. They could have been living, probably still living, or probably, But what happened? They died. I don't know what happened, but what I did was to drive in front and tell the people, please, there's a body over there. Please go and I think accident was on the road. Please go there. And the police did not have vehicles and stuff, and that's how terrible our country is. If people can get medical and other things from the hospital, what more can you get, from your people? You like people who should try to create that opportunity. If you don't have money in that country, you will die. Honestly, you will die. If you don't have money to get out or go to India where they can diagnose you and know exactly what's happening, you will die. That's one thing our government have not been able to do. But yet and still, we were blaming the former CDC government, how they were criminals, they were rogues, were running. But yet and still, this is what the Liberian people voted to come here for. The white Liberian people, the rescue that people are giving the Liberian people. Folks, please share the show. I'm still waiting for some of our panelists to join us, but please share it as you are watching. But there's a lot going on in Liberia, and I will bring you a lot of stories. I have a lot of stories that I'm going to tell you about. But I think, all in all, I think the House. I hope the Senate can learn from the House. But let me read this news that is just trending. There report that President Boakai has appointed Councillor Jonathan Massaquoi as the executive director of the Office of War and Economic Crime Court. So in a move aimed at combating corruption and impunity in Liberia. The establishment of this office and the setting up of the War and Economic Crime Court are seen as a historic milestone in the fight against these practices in the country. President Boakai expressed his confidence in Councillor Massaquoi's ability to expedite the full implementation of the office mandate. He emphasized the importance of this initiative in contributing to peace, sustainable development, and prosperity in Liberia. In the letter to Consider Massacre, President Barker charged him to carry out his duty with diligence, dedication, and loyalty to the country. He congratulated Councillor Massacre on his appointment and expressed his best wishes for the success of the initiative. So, wow. So we have somebody that the president have already appointed to go after, you know, the war and economic crime court to indict people and to bring them to justice. But on one of the issue of corruption, you know, hmm, it's interesting that when you indicting people, you know, make sure your hands are also clean when it comes to corruption. But I applaud the president for setting up this group. Uh, 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 it's important, you know. I applaud him for doing that, and I hope Councilor Matsukwe will really uh, uh, live up to the expectation of the Liberian people. You know, it won't be like the access and asset recovery or asset reverse team that was set up, and then since then we have heard nothing. You know, there was something that Senator Conan wrote. I was going to read it. So I was going to read it, but once I get it up, I will read that. You know, he wrote a long stuff. I probably can't even read all on the closing document. But what we are saying here is there's a lot going on, and another thing that just came out, you know, then discuss. So it appears that the Vice President Kuhn has been sidelined. You know, he's not really involved in a lot, you know, in the government, and I don't know, he's not, you know, playing major role. You know, I want to see what's the relationship is like. Whether the vice president have been given a lot of opportunity, you know, to travel around, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, this is Liberia. I want Henry to come back. Henry, I wanted to take some calls until our panelists come on and to see what's happening. But folks, the issue of corruption will just talk. Liberia men say, "Oh, make noise from now to tomorrow." It'll be the same thing. I want to take some calls, and text, you know, and just hear what's on the mind of the Liberian people. I really want to know. You know, there's a very interesting things. You know, I would like to show it, but Henry, I don't know whether you guys can actually whether you guys can actually play this. But there's something that came up. I want us to play the video, but maybe we'll just play a gist of it, Henry. Just listening to this. Somebody wrote it, Liberia, our responsibility. I want you guys to listen to this.
No growth, no progress. For how long will we trust the process? When our mothers say our cornbread, banana bread, shortbread, but still can afford their children's daily bread. When we have fathers who don't come home anymore because they know that empty pockets don't make the pot to boil. Around here, every day we chew on the bones of people who try to stand out. Why our leaders divide the national cake among themselves. But it's okay, because they feed us with the dead plate during election season. Making those empty promises we swallow every 6 year. Our stable food, the Lone Star, is starving. See how we are moving like Collie Head chicken. We don't know our left from our right, but everyone says Liberia is getting there. See how we have more card holders than classroom teachers. See how school fees dog has become a stray dog, biting entire families, and no one is doing anything about it. See how even our dreams have become zombies. We are walking and they are dead, but no one cares. and still we cry. Liberia will rise. Liberia will rise. But how can we improve the life we are living when our prayers are falling in some trash can up in heaven? We have silenced the sound of guns, but our self-hate is more deadly than bullets. We have trusted in the law of the land, but we have never found change in the ballots. We say one nation, indivisible, but in the eyes of the masses, this land is invisible. For 200 years, we sat and wait for better days, but we must find a better way to add value to the lives we live. Only our minds can make the hustle pay. If not now, then when? If not us, then who? In this land of broken promises, the voices of the masses can send echoes of hope from the slum communities to public offices and across the seashores. The need for change must not be ignored. We can be better than Miami, not even like it, but the question is, do we even believe it? The quest to create a better Liberia must stop our to-do list, but to do this, we must stop complaining and start planning. Whether you see a widow market or a supermarket, we can find what are broken in the system to fix them. We don't need to be ministers to preach the message of change. You don't need to win a seat in the house to clean your home. This nation doesn't need a new head of state, but a new state of mind. To define our worth by our past is like aborting our dream without ever getting to see it. The beat of our hearts is our future generations knocking on the door of our lives, telling us you can do better. And we must believe like my value boy who is learning trade to add value to his life. Like my Yana boy who has realized that going to the woods to get high doesn't take him from grass to grace. We are not tomorrow's people. Our time is now, and we are a mustard seed generation. We are built to mold gold out of sand, to rise above every circumstance. If we carve triumph out of trials, no more will hardship try us. So we must search for smiles amid cries. To move from grass to grace, this is the price we have to pay. And with joy and gladness, we will one day shout, this too is Liberia. This too is Liberia. This too is our nation using its natural resources to reap supernatural harvest. This too is the love of our land spreading across party lines. This too is the day we bury that demonic slogan. If it can't be me, it can't be you. This too is Kavala flowing with pride among the rivers of Africa. This too is the lone star shining bright and powerful and taking the path of evolution. This too is Liberia.
Wow. Alex, welcome. Welcome, guys. I think that was clear. Thank you listening to that. And as I listened to the young people in that video and their words, it became very emotional. When he talked about that our Father don't come home again. He said our Father don't come home again because they don't have anything to bring home. And then he said, our prayers have been fall in the trash. We don't need a new leader. We need a new state of mind. That's just something that I got from it. Mm-hmm. But Alex, welcome. You listening to that? I mean,
yeah.
Give me your.
Is that video right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I listened to it in the chat room. Yeah, it's very inspiring, very, very inspiring, and well put together. And addresses most of the cultural and social issues, prevailing issues that they are faced with. At least they are not, as the universal Liberian people can say, conscientized to what's happening in Liberia, and it really affecting the young people more than anybody else. The older people, at least, they already have education. Even if they're not working right now, they can still they have some work experience. Some of them have their homes already. They've worked in the past. But the young people, that there's nothing, literally. And so I really, really, really feel for young people in Liberia. Even if you have the university degree, your first degree, what can you do with it? You don't have any experience. You don't have capital to start any business. Obviously, you don't have jobs. There's no jobs in the private sector. There's no expansion, for employment opportunity. So it's a very, very desperate situation going on in Liberia.
It is very desperate, especially for our young people, and even parents with children. How do they support the children on a daily basis? On Monday, I said that sometimes you see our brothers and sisters, in the country. It's like they have given up hope and don't think anything will happen for them because the way they look, their bodies, their parents, and all you see is that desperation in the faces. That's all we see. They are desperate. They don't have any help, and it's just sad. Student at the University of Liberia don't they struggle. I've driven in Monrovia and seen kids. I went to a gas station once, Alex, and
Mhm.
I drove there late night, like 11 o'clock, to take gas. And the young man who was at that station was selling the gas and sitting under the light and was studying. He said that's the only way I can study or I can go to school. He said I got school in the morning, but I got to work here in the morning. When I was in high school.
Mhm.
I got to work and then go to class in the morning. As he was selling, he was happy, but he was working at the same time. And I shared with him a gift, and I just told him, man, I admire you, for what you're doing, and stuff like that. But it's rather challenging, Alex. We hear a lot happening today. One of the major things that happened today in Liberia was these almost $500,000 that the senator took and went on personal jolly ride in Monrovia, and now others are coming up and refuting and justifying. But the money for 2 days, at least 500, almost 590,000, it's too much, you know.
Mhm.
So what do you think of it, Alex? What are we the champion of this?
Uh, and I think I've addressed this thing. This is not going to go away until the government is no longer a place where to make people rich. Okay. So long the government is there where you can make 10 times more than what the average person making salary. Okay. You will never have any development or progress in Liberia. The government becomes like a casino you go to pay to see where people are being paid in Liberia, legislators, senators, compared to anywhere in the world, compared to what the GDP of the country is unheard of. Okay. Senators get paid more than governors in the United States that manage economies of billions of dollars. All right. They get paid more than I think even the vice president. When you do the math with the senators, they get paid at least $250,000 plus other incentive in the seventh poorest nation, in a nation with one of the lowest HDI, a nation where there's no proper medical care, no proper educational system, where almost 80% of the people don't work in any formal sector, meaning they don't have jobs. And the senators are making one of the highest amount proportionately now to the income, the average income. Any other place there'll be a revolution. Anywhere in the world, even in America, yeah, if you pay the president 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more than what the average person. I think the average pay in America is around $50,000, right? $60,000. And the president of America makes 400,000, you know. But in the private sector, 400,000 in America is not even compared to what a CEO or what a, you know, what a salesperson can make. You know, whereby in senators they make $150,000 to $250,000. That just 3 to 4 times what the average income is in America, right? Not even the upper tier. The upper tier you make about 100,000, so you make just as much, maybe a little less than what your senator and governors make. In Liberia, if you're saying $600 is the per capita, which is the income, average income of the country, 600 United States dollars, and you're paying a senator or representative even $10,000, and some of them make way more than that, or most of them make way more than that. So do the math. How many times over the average income? So they need to stop that. The government doesn't need to be a place for people to go. That's why there's no corporations. Why would somebody go do business? Why would Amara Conan, for instance, or any one of the representatives, or Edwin Snow, go and open a company when he can make millions of dollars working as a senator or representative? He can get rich. He can build mansions working in government. Why would he go and open an industry? Why would he go and leave government and go and open, a business? So they need to stop that. Nobody in Liberian government should make more than $3,000. That was my proposal. That is my proposal. $3,000 a month is sufficient for any public servant compared to what the average person making $200 and $300.
Yeah.
Make your money outside of government, but it is not justifiable. And people will argue against it as if when you were seeing these things, Sierra Leone, Ghana, they don't pay representatives and even the leaders that kind of money. Nigeria, your president makes more than the president of Nigeria. The president of Sierra Leone made, I think, $20,000 a year. And in Liberia, look what they just paying a representative.
Yep. But Alex, yes, though, could they? I don't have any problem with them having a retreat. I think that kind of retreat or staff development is very important for them. Could they have sought grants from UN or the area like the House is doing right now? What the House they were able to get the UN to help sponsor their retreat. Could they have done that instead of spending $500,000 on a 2 days Jolly Ride?
I don't know, and I beg to differ here, even if it's being sponsored or facilitated by some other government agency. I mean, some private individual. That's a slippery slope. Part of the reasons people get paid in government is because they don't want to be influenced by private sector, right? You don't want your government to be working for either foreign government, right, or or a businessman. Now, when you say retreat, okay, this is your own country. It's not like you're leaving from your country going to a foreign country where you don't have any roots or anything like that. Most people can leave from Moravia and go to Bikeno and come right back, right? For a day or two, how much would that cost you if you even got a hotel for $200 and food for, let's say $100? So even the idea that you're going to even spend anywhere near hundreds of thousands of dollars for any retreat in Liberia, considering what the economy is, considering JFK don't have medication, considering there's a myriad of problems in Liberia, whether you get that money from America or wherever, why can't you put that money into opening industries for jobs for young people in Liberia? Why can't you put that money for other productive things? What would a retreat do, you understand, to grow the economy? Nothing. So my point is, wherever, if the House can get money from, wherever, foreign government, wherever, get the money to start to focus on jobs for the people in Liberia. That should be the focus. That's what they're there for. You see the same people every day. Whether you going to retreat or not, what that has to do with you passing laws?
Oh, but let's say maybe changing the environment, but I mean, I don't agree with them wasting that
No,
kind of money, you know. But just changing and
no.
say we'll meet this place, you know, everyone does it. Even the U.S. House go on retreat. They have the annual game that they play in other places. You know, they meet there and stuff like that. That's fine. The Republican have their own retreat. Democrat have their retreat to go on stuff like that. But what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying
then let them
is,
take it from their pocket.
yes,
Doctor,
I agree with
people,
that. I agree with that. I
you
agree with
know what
that.
I mean?
I
If you
agree
want
with
to go
that.
on retreat, unless you're going to you can go to Totmaha, you can go to sports complex, you can go to one of the beaches right in Monrovia after work. There are lots of areas. You can go right to Carisborough, one of those areas,
I agree with that.
and get together and change your environment. But
I
if you're
agree with
going somewhere where you're going to be paying $200-$300 a night and getting $10,000 and $20,000, then put your hands in your pocket. You're already making more than everybody in the country.
that. Yeah, that's
Pay your
fair.
own way, your own hotel,
Yeah, that's
and
fair
your
enough.
own security. Then
Yeah,
I will agree with you. But
I
you
agree with
can't
that.
you can't exploit the people further. For your own benefit. Like I said, this is not going to do anything for that lady in Nukutan. It's not going to do anything for that young man who tomorrow got to find his way, or young woman to go to Fender to school.
Mhm.
Whether you go on retreat at Farmington Hotel or wherever, it's not going to do anything for them. So why should people be excited about it? This
You're
is
right.
part of your job. Take your own personal money if you want to get it. I mean, Musa Ability goes all the time, every weekend to Saclay Pierre. He's not taking Liberian government money to
No,
do that, right?
he's
He
you
goes to
know.
his people all the time,
Yep, you go to his
which is
people.
commendable.
Yep,
Huh?
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
He doesn't waste your time sitting around here. But look, I don't know. In the past, some of them used to get their agriculture break. They get money for agriculture break, and they come to the U.S. and they be flossing. I used to see a lot of them at different
Yeah.
cookout and parties and dancing and doing all kinds of stuff. I know a lot of them that used to do it.
Yeah.
During President Salif time, the senators, the representatives, they were all in the U.S. When it's an agriculture break, instead of them going back to their different areas, they're in the U.S. or traveling to Europe to jolly jolly. So they don't have. Do you think the leadership of the Senate, led by Nyamli Kanga, do you think do you think she screw up? Let me say this. Let me say it like this. Do you think she screw up? And
No.
is she going
Again,
in one
Dr.
direction?
Peabody, the reason is we always put people in the position that have not demonstrated their ability. Okay. And then we expect the word from them.
Mhm.
Yomdi Kagan Lawrence have been in the Senate for how many years now? Close to 18, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell me what significantly has she done to improve the lives of people in Grand Bassa County or the people in Liberia? Has
Nothing.
prices went down as a result of her legislation?
Nope.
Has the HDI gone up?
But you're going
Has
too
the,
far. You're going too
you know what
far.
I mean?
Look at the
Okay.
Basel Hospital. Look at the Basel
Okay.
Hospital. You
Okay.
got, I don't know, you probably got over 800 to 900,000, or maybe 300,000 people, or 400, 500,000 people living in Basel. They don't even have a decent hospital that they can go to when they
Correct.
sick.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
So when you talk about putting that person in leadership as the head of Pro 10, right? That over the whole entire Senate, that's somebody who's supposed to be passing laws and improving the living standard and making sure that women, young girls and women today, should be passing around Monrovia celebrating that we got a female leader in our Senate, and we're getting down to go to school, and we're getting in the budget, we're getting allocation. You understand?
Yeah.
So the woman
And
has done none of those things.
it's
Okay.
sad. Though.
And I
It's
stand
really
corrected.
sad.
If anybody can show me the law where
Go ahead. Go ahead.
if people can show me the law where she passed and people are getting pat down, students are getting, assistance and they're getting student loans and they're getting money for businesses, then my apologies. But she's done nothing. And how much has she collected over 18 years? If not tens of millions, millions of
Yeah,
dollars
all the little one
every
that
year.
did it, the one on that went
So
on the track.
yeah,
Yep.
she collected
It's
money
sad.
every year, at least $1 million in terms of salary, compensation, gas, for all the different
A
things
lot.
you add it up, it close to $1 million a year. Because when you look at the Senate budget of almost $30 million divided by 30 people, even if they have 20 staff members that they pay 500, I did the math. They're still walking away with over $500,000 for peace.
Yep.
So times that by 12, I mean by 18.
But what do
That
you
person
think
is a
of
multi-millionaire.
what do you think
You-
of Senator Amara Conan response?
Well, we put up a story the other day about the facts about it. I didn't read the response, the latest one today, but we put up that article, and I'm not surprised. We knew from the get-go that this man was playing game here in Dar es Salaam. We knew it from the get-go. The information was released, and then he came out and tried to, you know, do some PR to correct the damage that was done. First, stating that, oh, he didn't receive that amount of money. And so the fact about it is, I think these people are dishonest. They do not love the country. They are there to line the pockets. And this is the evidence of it. They have no ideas. Okay, they went to the retreat, right? What has come up from the retreat? What new law or new, what has improved? The whole city is going through flood, right? The basic, people can't even go to school. Children, sick people, elderly people can barely get around in a city. Why these people there in the Bikini Hotel with air conditioning and eating gourmet food? What has come from that? So look, the Amar Corners, that whole group, the whole group of the politicians from the past, look, they need to go. It's time for Liberians to really say, you know what, we've had it. It's time. You can't keep bringing the same people back and back. Imran Kone was finance minister. Where is Liberia for almost 8 years or so? He was budget director. We still the poorest country. No jobs. Destitution all over the place. What do you expect from this man? Who in a rightful mind would say that this person is someone who has solved one problem in Liberia? All the corruption you see today in the Senate and the House of Representatives from the early administration, who was the architect of it? The all black money, all these different things. So I know he's supposed to come on the show, but I hope he comes to defend himself. We'll be waiting for him.
Well, while we wait,
Tell us what he's done for the Liberian people. To tell us where since he being senator, where improvement has come to his district or to the Liberian people. So we'll be here waiting for that.
While we await the other guys to come in, okay, they're all here now. Sorry, guys, it was not my fault, to bring you guys on. So, I'm sorry for the delay. We just had some problems. But
well, since I think I can go now. Sylvester is here.
Sylvester, yeah, you want to wait for Sylvester. That's it. But guys, welcome. Where's Toga? Toga was in the back too. Let's try to bring Toga on. And we are.
What you said? What you said?
I see you here. That's why I need to go.
Welcome, Robert. Welcome,
Ali, you be representing us from Crossfire.
I know. You already know that me and Sylvester go way back for Crossfire. Yeah.
So
he ran away. He ran away from people Crossfire. And he back here.
I can run away for you.
But guys, the president appointed Clarence Massacre, I believe, to head the executive director, I believe, to head the War and Economic Crime Court. I want us to touch on that. I want to start from there today. What do you guys make of the president appointment? Let's start with Robert, and then Sylvester, and then Honorable Gonglo. as well. Let's start from there, guys. Robert.
Yeah, look, it's good to be on, man. Now you said the president appointed who again?
Clarence Massaquoi.
Oh, Chris Massaquoi or Burns?
It's Clarence or Chris?
Councilor Massaquoi. That's what I know. Okay.
Yeah, it's Chris Massaquoi, former police
Chris
director.
Massaquoi, right? Yeah.
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 So I don't think that's a good idea. You said
Is that a Chris Massaquoi from police?
Yeah, former police
Yes.
director. Is
That's not him.
That's not
That's
him,
not
right?
him.
Because
No.
That's
him?
not him.
That's
That's
not
him.
him.
The guy is not Chris Massaquoi. He's
But
Jonathan.
see the letter.
He's
The letter
Jonathan
is really
Massaquoi.
Yeah, Jonathan Massaquoi. Sorry.
Former police chief.
it's not Chris, please.
Okay, great. So because I would have,
Councilor Jonathan Massaquoi. Yeah.
there you go.
Yes.
Because Chris is not a he's not a counselor.
No, he is.
But Chris Massaquoi is a lawyer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He is a lawyer.
The former police, the former police chief?
The former
Yeah.
police chief. That's a very nice
Oh, I never knew that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh wow, interesting.
Mhm.
I did not know that at all. But look, to be honest, I think I have a little to say on this guy because I have not read up on him. I had a brief conversation today about him from an insider, and so I don't know much about him. I need to do my research to understand what he brings to the table. Obviously, it's a great thing that he's a lawyer. I understand that he has extensive experience in law enforcement as well. I'm not sure how true this is. I heard that the president was trying to find someone, and Chris Massaquoi, I think, was part of the discussion with regards to this position as well. But I will hold my opinion on him until I can do my full assessment of him and his qualification. I think it's just fair to do that. So I will have the other guys speak on that issue for now.
All right, Sylvester, since you know him, what do you make of the president appointment today?
So my brother took out just said it says Jonathan Massaquoi or Chris Massaquoi.
Jonathan.
Councilor
Okay,
Jonathan.
Councilor Jonathan Massaquoi. Is it the fellow that was named as Attorney General and they withdrew his nomination?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they named him before as Justice Minister. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Correct. So I have known him for some time, and we work in the same professional institution together before. The General Auditing Commission, the only supreme audit institution in the Republic of Liberia. So that my interaction with him, he proved to be he's a quiet guy. He's unassuming. He's kind of a fellow, but he looked polished. He's detailed. He's someone basically I will give some level of respect to. Whenever we interact in the professional scene at the level of the General Auditing Commission, then he was a most senior auditor and what have you. I mean, from the perspective of working with the legal department rather, or giving some advice to the GSC. So he was more or less a professional person from that perspective. So I respect, and that's part of the reason when I heard his name as Attorney General, when folks were a little bit running in a kind of a bizarre faction, believing that it was a kind of a new thing, phenomenal to them. I took it from a different perspective. I knew that he was a quiet, intelligent person, well-rounded in terms of his thought process. So I was not, my only concern then was that he didn't have the requisite longevity in terms of the legal practice to assume the role as Attorney General of the Republic. But in terms of his competence, in terms of his understanding of the law, the way he progressively moved through the chain of the process, I felt quite frankly that he was positioned to move and get the job done. Because as Attorney General, you dare to look at the laws on the book. You are the chief prosecutor, the chief law enforcement element in the Republic of Liberia. So I thought that's the perspective I took it from. But now that he's been named, I believe that the President, George May, is right. He understands what he's doing. He's one person that pays some attention to the process of the implementation of what you in terms of the enforceability and the application of the law. Those perspective of his is very clear. So I think I respect the president choice. This president, that's why the president, and I always want to say this, and I love saying it. Ever since I learned this in Liberian government and politics, when I was doing political study at the University of Liberia, I learned to do these things. When Councillor Jonathan William taught us Liberian government and politics, 451, basically talking about the executive power of the Liberian presidency. So the president of the Republic of Liberia, Article 50, says he's the commander-in-chief, the head of state, and head of government. So we can't caution. There's an enormous power the Constitution gave the president of the Republic. But I'm one person I will take a bottle of Corona beer on that appointment. I believe the appointment is reasonably logical and it will serve the purpose. I will want to rest on that for now. But Jonathan Massaquoi is a detailed, well-polished, and intelligent gentleman that can serve the purpose.
Abu, what's your take on that?
Well, thank you. Happy to be here again. You know, each time we come here, we'll listen to the New Progressive.
Okay.
Their interpretation of events does be interesting sometimes. There's no doubt that
you won't counter my position, counter it.
There's no doubt the president of the Republic of Liberia has that power to appoint. But here what I will say, you know, I'll premise my comment on the fact that Liberia is 77 years old. So whenever people come to public service, critical role, they are given the time to assume a critical role. I'm always asking myself, I look back in the rear view of Liberian history and look for any comment or any opinion that person has expressed publicly on critical national issues. What is the footprint on this, on that? If you've been silent on everything, then I tend to be a little bit skeptical because you are an unknown consequence. Like in mathematics, we say you are the variable. We don't know what value we equate will make you an equation. So I hold my comment back on some of these things. When some of us are critical of President Bouakai, then Kennedy Bouakai, our question was, we went through the advocacy of the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s against Charles Taylor regime. He was MIA, he was absent. We never saw anything, we never read anything from him. So why was he silent on all these national upheavals that many other people spoke, including myself, who wrote articles in the newspaper? Why would never saw his opinion on anything? Why would he wait only to become president, then his opinion be known? So we are seeing how everything is going on him. So on Jonathan Massaquoi, we are dealing with war and economic crimes code, particularly the economic crimes code aspect. People who have stolen billions of dollars in our country are powerful people just as those who committed mayhem. If you're going to lead that process, is he an incorruptible person? Is he someone that if somebody comes and says, look, my man, I got $5 million, don't go after me, take $1 million. Is he somebody who will look at it and say, no, Liberia needs $1 million?
Yeah, he is.
No, so Sylvester, let me just end my comment.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead. Sorry, Chief.
Asking a rhetorical question.
No, sorry.
I'm not sure I'm asking
I just
someone.
said sorry, Bibera. Sorry.
Yeah. Is he that person? We'll see how he perform. But I think I've heard, if I were President Bouakai, from what I've heard, he didn't follow that. Because the power of the president is enormous in the country. when you want to appoint people in professional roles like the judiciary, like in the health field, I will write to the Liberian Dental and Medical Council or the medical, association and ask them, can you guys send me 10 names of doctors that you believe can be the chief medical officer of the Republic of Liberia, or can be the chief medical officer for JFK, or can be I will ask that question. I'm not giving my power to them because they know that professional colleagues better than I do as president. If I have such a thing, I will ask the Liberian National Bar Association, give me 10 names of lawyers that your team can sit here as director for the War and Economic Crimes Court. And I will choose from that 10 names. From where I sit, that was not the case. So, but we'll see how he conducts himself.
Listen, sometimes that people, these are kind of intellectual interaction, right? We need to correct some, do some necessary correction, basically moving forward.
What is intellectual?
Now, you shouldn't have done that. It is not. It's set criteria that he should do it. What you just enumerated. Now, I listened to your individual monologue just now. He shouldn't have done that. To say he needed to. The basic did not allow the president to submit. If the president select to do that, he will do. So you're trying to set and make our audience understand that the president should have done X, Y, Z to submit this. No, the president shouldn't have done that. That would have been a magnanimous gesture from the president to have done that. But it is not a process for the president to do. So I don't want you try to play the line to set the audience on the basis of the president should have done that. He didn't.
So first, I don't know why you clarify because I never said it's required under the law.
Then you don't be emphasizing it.
I said no. My emphasis does not negate the fact that I'm expressing my opinion.
No, go ahead. I just thought to bring that to your attention.
I was very clear on that the president has the power under the Constitution to appoint more than 3,000 people. He has that power. It's constitutional. But I said that power, because you don't know everybody, you are not a doctor, you are not a lawyer. I said in professional bodies, like in the health field, in the legal field, if you want to appoint people, the best option to exercise leadership, with no prejudice.
How sure are you the president didn't do that? He didn't consult. How sure are you the president didn't consult?
I said to you, from where I sit, from what I've gathered, that was not the case. I said that. Sylvester Pugh, you are not the only Liberian. I have extensive connection in Liberia.
I'm not saying that.
Ben, a former teacher, there are many young doctors that I taught some of them in pre-calculus. There are old doctors that some of them sat in science college with me.
The president don't have to speak to all of the doctors.
No. So I also know the leadership of the medical association. I know.
Did you talk to that? I
know that you don't know. So why you want to dispute this?
The head of the institution I speak to him every day. He said the president went through the due process. The head of said institution.
Well, Sylvester, are you defending? Are you defending here that the president went through the due process? How do you know, Sylvester? How do you know?
Listen. The president went through, and part of I don't want us to. The president went through the due process, and I believe the president went through the constitutional. The president went through. I come in 1 minute. The president went through process. The president now it's not a due process. The due process I'm referring to. The due process I'm referring to is the constitutional. Listen, the due process I'm talking to here. The Constitution gave the powers to the president to do that.
But there's no argument about that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So the president used that, exercised that right to perform his constitutional responsibility. So who are we to come and bother ourselves to do this? What I'm saying to you, what I'm saying to you, the president consulted other professionals before he carried out this appointment. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
See, Sylvester,
and you say that didn't happen. You say that didn't happen. It happened.
Neo-progressive Sylvester, I was very clear. I said the Liberian National Bar Association. I gave an example. I say in the case of appointing medical doctor to position, I would do this. In the case of appointing people in the judiciary, I will ask the Liberian National Bar Association. I didn't say I will ask other lawyers. I was very clear on that. I don't know why it's a confusion. There's no ambiguity in what I express here. Okay? To the best of my knowledge, he did not ask the Liberian National Bar Association to say, at least give me 5 names, let me choose one from there. Or give me 10 names, let me choose one. That I give example.
And I'm receiving messages from the former secretary of the Liberian Bar Association saying the president consulted to the Attorney General. So I don't know what's the source.
Oh, so you see, it's the Attorney General, the executive member of the National Bar Association.
Who is the legal advisor to the president? The president consulted the bar through the Attorney General. That's what I said. The president consulted. Said the president consulted the bar. Yes, the president consulted the bar association via the Attorney General.
Yeah, gentlemen, I think we should.
Okay, guys. I think
I don't know Sylvester argument here, though. I don't know Sylvester
I think we
argument.
should move on.
The
I
argument
think-
is
guys,
the
we have
president
to
did
move on.
writing and he consulted other people to
I
advise.
think other people can
Yeah,
weigh
I
in.
don't want to call it name.
Yeah, so
Let me other guys say.
so
Let me tell you, I know that Bobby Livingstone sent you the message. I don't want to know
Bobby.
Bobby Livingstone sent you the message.
So I love it.
Guys, now we gotta move on.
I mean, the
So-
way Bobby
So,
Livingston said right now, he was saying about
Leave
it.
it. So,
It's
kind
Bobby
of-
Livingstone. I know
Bobby
that,
Livingston,
no.
the man first.
I'm a man. I don't want
The
to.
man-
Now, my thing here is, first of all, you know,
Sylvester is a neo-progressive
is
who is more.
I mean,
I
the fight.
Get to got time to
I
talk.
mean, let's talk,
No,
Caribou.
but
Let
I
me-
think
let me
I'm
talk
not
now.
in a statement.
Yeah, the
Sylvester,
pastor people
you kept
listening, my
interrupting
man.
me. I'm never in there.
The
And you
pastor
guys-
people listening to me. Let me talk.
That's already
Go ahead,
discussed.
Toga. Go ahead.
Yeah, the boss representative.
Let the pastor people please listen to me.
Yeah,
The other-
We all
The
talk-
early June man was just dealing with our protein, but we handle it.
exactly.
the other-
we thought the pastor for me. I'm a pastor
I can
cousin.
say- I can say
Yeah,
for the record, anytime new progressive people want to talk, I will give a point. I will give interjection. Today, not tomorrow.
but here's the
Today.
thing. The fight.
You know, my big brother, man,
I
stop
mean,
that thing.
today, you know, we've started a process. I mean, a lot of people keep doubting the entire fight against impunity in the country. The fact that the president keeps wearing the courage to take step-by-step procedure to making this issue come to reality, I think this is something commendable. All right, it's very commendable. We want to see this happen. A lot has happened in this country today. I was able to watch a lot of the videos of the past. In fact, I posted one of those videos of thousands of Liberians, that hung onto ships to go to Ghana during the war. And the other one about signing of peace accord and all of that. A lot of people lost their relatives. Over 250,000 persons lost their lives. This is a very serious issue. I hope and pray that the president will continue to take the necessary steps, to ensure that the actors and the perpetrators of war in this country are brought to book, and those economic vampires are also brought to book. It's very serious, and we hope this thing is not going to take too long so that the code can be established. Even if the first 2 or 3 actors can begin going through the entire process of prosecution, the Liberian people will celebrate this. This will be a milestone achievement for the Boakas administration. A lot of people seem to be doubting it. In fact, one of the reasons I heard that Jonathan Massacre, the councillor, was recalled from the initial stages as Attorney General was because of his alignment with the Speaker. A lot of people thought that he would be a puppet of the Speaker. He works with the Speaker's law firm, the International Law Group.
Law group, yes.
All right. So when he was appointed, it became an issue. I mean, his nomination became an issue. A lot of people said he was going to be the Speaker's puppet. All right. So that had to change. The fact that he's coming into a space that the Liberian people will be watching him. I hope it will not just be a lip service. We've had instances in this country, even during President Salif's time, where people were nominated to positions, went through all their confirmation processes, and those places just became dormant. The ombudsman was one of them. Some of them never even reached the stage of confirmation. They just had those titles and were passing around because they just wanted to appease the Liberian people that were taking a drastic decision for XYZ that never came to fruition. We hope this will not be the case. I hope in the not too distant future, Councillor Jonathan Massaquoi will be able to draw up a whole plan for this whole war and economic crimes code and start giving timelines. Because one of the things we want to see, there must be timelines. You must be able to say, and you know, at so and so month, this is what we want to achieve. At this period, this is what we want to achieve. So the Liberian people can follow you and be able to track you. It should not be a lip service thing. The Liberian people are very serious about this matter. Too many people are grieving every day. A lot of people cannot even see their families' graves. This can never be a joking matter. The people are watching as President Bouaka proceeds with this matter. And we really hope and pray. It's my understanding also that the president has also done a communication to the United Nations, informing them about this establishment and seeking support. We hope that all of our international people, all of you on the platform that are connected to some international people, can make this call for Liberia come to fruition. It's very important, and we want to see it achieved. Thank you very much.
Toka, let me follow you right there.
Yeah,
Okay, because
come
I
in,
don't know. Yeah, I don't know where were some of you guys living, really, you know. But I kind of like it's almost like a hypothetical, you know. It's like a delusional world you live in. You listen to John Molu, who have spoken to the president many times, who is more closer to Joseph Bouaka, more favorable to him than any of us on this platform, right? Who work with him and has much to lose than you and I. Molu clearly stated to the Liberian people that the president has communicated to him that all this is just charade. His interview 2 weeks ago. Okay, so what are you believing? You think by appointing somebody to something that means something will happen? I mean, how many people have President Joseph Bouaka appointed so far? Where has been a result on anything? If the finance minister, and I told Musa Beleda, I say, I hope you ain't get paid for the rest of this year. Political right now, and he complaining about they're not getting the resources and what have you. And at the president appointment, the finance minister. So these appointments are just formality. Very on this very show, and we're asking the question. The president did not even need, and this is a legal scholar. This is somebody who served on anti-corruption. This is somebody who has more legal experience than any of us here. And he said, if this president was serious, you don't even need to pass a law, because our existing law, we part of conventions and treaties that we signed in the past. But yet, my friend here still believing. What are you believing? They see how people believing that this government is going to fight corruption. You know, that American will fight corruption. That Darius DeLong will bring change to Liberia. What we drinking? You know, I really want to know. I don't have any faith in this president as far as doing anything appropriate for the Liberian people, because his action has not shown it. The people who were murdered recently in Kidman County, what came from other aid? The rice thing came up, wow, they say they're having commission. What has been the result of the commission? Rice prices still going up. So it just, the only thing here is just do something so the Liberian people can say, yeah, the president is serious. That appointment is not anything that will demonstrate somebody is serious about solving a problem. So please, let come down to reality and see Liberia for what it is. We have a dormant president who does not intend on carrying on this war and economic crimes code according to his own allies. The man rescue Ramo, just jump off board and all of that. And we're still delusional. We're still hoping. Hoping for what?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about saying it. You're right about that. I mean, we listen to key people from President
Progressive have faith and hope. New progressive have faith and hope, Alex.
Listen.
It's not about me. The person that got faith and hope. One good thing is sometimes we can't always be on the other side criticizing unreasonably. No, I different thought process, Mr. Gonglo, on there. That's serious note. And I believe the appointment is realistic. I trust the president's judgment. and we should give the president and his nominee some time to figure out the methodology to carry all these things. Listen, I don't want to listen to someone because someone said this as Chuchu was saying it, right? Because Mr. Modu said this. Mr. Modu is someone I got respect for. Mr. Modu recruited me at the level of the General Auditing Commission. I respect him very highly and dearly, right? But it's not Chuchu. You come and say, Mr. Modu said this.
Because he's a credible person.
So what?
Okay, guys. All right.
He must interact. So you know,
Let's
Mr.
move
Modu
on
is
to the
lying
next
to us.
topic.
So no, give me 30 seconds, please.
Okay.
Because Chuchu, I think you're contradicting yourself, bro.
Okay.
If you think that, and that's your opinion, you have all rights to your opinion, right?
Yeah.
But to even assert that Molu is credible, but the other folks that you mentioned have no credibility, I think contradicts everything that you just said.
Exactly.
It was the very Molu who sat on the platform of a convicted felon, a convicted criminal in Stanton Witherspoon, who deceived and stole money from people, connived with the help of an entire health system to enrich himself. And that's a whole lot of morality and credibility issue right there. And anyone who have any interest in fighting corruption, like President Joseph Boakai said that he would not sit on the platform of a convicted criminal and have him lead the campaign to raise funds on that very platform. So obviously, if a guy like Molu was on there taking numbers and writing down names of folks who were sending donation, if he had any credibility, if he had any sense, he would have said, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of this. If we want to raise funds, let's raise funds on a credible network, not on this network. And we would certainly would not make Stanton the lead campaign.
So that's why making that credible.
One second. But when you question Amara Conan, when you question Dylan, and I don't fancy Dylan, and I will never support Ron. But when you say all these guys are not credible, but you want us to believe that Molu, who has been rejected, who has been cut off, who is clearly angry because he did not get what he fought for during the campaign, who is basically out on an outburst campaign to really shut down Joseph Boakai, all because he did not get what he wanted. Because guess what? If Molu had gotten what he fought for during the campaign, Molu would not be saying the nonsense he's saying right now.
But
now we should take his word. We should take his word for it. Bottom line is this. World Crimes Court, and I don't like this, and I don't support this president. I don't have much hope in this president, but I want Liberia to succeed, so I want him to succeed. And when he makes the right decision in the interest of our country, we will support him. And so on this case and on this issue of war and economic crimes court, I think he got it right. However, we need to see action. And just because some of us are hoping that the right appointment will lead to these serious action to hold these people accountable, doesn't mean that we are just sitting here thinking that everything will happen. But to sit on this platform and think that nothing will happen at all, we should not hope that something good happen. I don't think it's a true position.
Guys, just give me 1 minute to respond to Robert. First of all, John Molu is one of the most credible Liberian public officials. Whether you like
that's your opinion.
He's demonstrated credibility. He's not accused of any malfeasance or corruption during the time he served up to present. That I will stand on his case for that. Unlike
accusation has nothing to do with the fact.
Let me finish. Unlike
people that is a criminal.
No. Listen, like I said, unlike somebody like Amara Corner, who was accused, who publicly, but not Liberian, but international organization, accused him of corruption.
That's a blatant lie.
That's a
blatant lie. That's what I hate about you.
Okay. So let me. You guys let me deal with it one step at a time. I can show you the Global Witness report.
Let's go for Ellis Jones to talk. Give Ellis Jones time to talk.
He's getting misinformation.
Yeah, but let me finish. You can talk all you want to talk, and maybe he's paying some of y'all.
Alex, when you talk about Molu, nobody told you were getting paid for Molu. Nobody said you're getting paid for Molu.
The thing is, Ellis Jones was just talking about Molu. And Ellis Jones does not know that Molu is an angry man who wanted to be
Minister of State for Bouaka, was not given the role. So he tries to discredit everything.
That's not the issue yet.
Many of you know on this show, I barely support the government or its action. But I think that the issue of Warcraft Code is a serious agenda. It's a serious agenda.
No, but I was speaking. That came on and cut me off. Let me just say something here.
Because you have meeting with Bouaka, and so Bouaka told you that Warcraft Code is not a serious agenda for him.
Okay,
we're not going to take this sort of statement from
but let me tell you something. And that was some of you guys. Some of you guys are
and that's why I don't trust any of them, because many of them supported Bouaka
has
for
questioned the Bouaka seriousness in fighting corruption and leading the country.
Credible. You can't be credible.
But what's not credible about him? There's no accusation against him.
In the last election, and you decided to support Bouaka for job. Bouaka not get you job, then you get angry. You myself will not get angry at the same time.
That's childish. That's just completely childish. So that means because he didn't get a job, so everything he said is this man.
He wanted to be minister of state. He wanted to be finance minister.
He wanted to be minister. He's not minister, but what he's saying, there's no validity to what he's saying.
For him to say, Bouaka used to meet in the
hold on,
to have conversation.
Let me get
we gotta move on. We gotta move on. Let's go to the next topic.
One question. Because somebody wants something and they didn't get it, so does that change the fact from what they're talking about? Did Amarkone himself not talk about some of the disparity in his government?
His opinion is not factual. He didn't produce any document to show that it's factual. It's his opinion.
Yeah, but the fact that he's been a trusted advisor to the president publicly, even the president has there's evidence of hearing the president the documentation. We're hearing the president working in the president campaign. So when he speaks and tell the public that the president does not want war crimes, I will have to believe it. The president has not come on. Did the president, did Joseph Bouaka come on and say that Malu lying? Did Joseph
John Malu was not on one trip with Bouaka across the country campaigning anywhere.
Okay, Toga.
You were just one guy saying that once in a while on spoon.
Toga,
I don't even think he came to the country once or twice to campaign.
Joseph Bouaka refused.
Never came here to campaign. I'm lying to you that he came here to campaign.
No, hold on. That's the question I want to ask you. You can't answer that question. Did Joseph Bouaka refute any of what Malu has said in his interview? Absolutely not. As a president, somebody keen, your trusted advisor keen, and your trusted advisor tells you
you expect the president to be responding to Malu.
Yes, the president is a public figure. His credit.
Don't reduce our presidency to that level.
Don't elementary when it's sometimes.
Yeah. Not reducing our president.
That's the next topic. This is where we're going to.
No, reducing of what?
All right.
That the president will be responding to everybody that's
we cannot get it. America and make a serious allegation against a president, and nobody come out. He has a minister of information. He got press secretary. Okay, the man lied. Why the president not coming? Why the president spokesperson not saying he lying?
Alex,
why the president can't challenge you and say what you see is a lie?
Amar have not been indicted by any.
He didn't say he was indicted. He was accused.
That's not true. That's not true. Anything. But he was not accused.
Robert, what everybody talking about? I'm not accused. I tried to bring a report out.
You know that was the you want nobody indicted Samuel Tuer, but yet the public know that Samuel Tuer is corrupt. So when it comes to your people, then you're protected. Nobody know that Jefferson Kochi or any of the people in the section were indicted. But yet these people are being accused of it, and we hold it against them. They lost their job for it. They didn't go to any trial. The civil go for any trial for corruption. No, so y'all start playing this game here where when you elect one person, then there's a different standard. When you elect a person, then there's a different standard. Nobody has been indicted for corruption in Liberia. Does that mean that corruption doesn't exist? That people can be accused of it? Or international organization came or did a research and said this man, there was money that was given to him and other people, Robert Salih, and you want to sit there and
that's
say,
not true.
Oh,
I can't. There are people that want me, please. You see, the
move on now.
Quickly. Part of the reason why sometimes
our show is not about that.
What disgusts me is about you coming and making.
You know, I'm surprised at some of you guys because that is that part you want to
I'm really surprised. Why? There were no reports.
The fact here is we want to be as fair as we can.
But what I'm seeing, I can substantiate it. I'm not making anything up. This is international news. This is in the newspaper.
You're speaking loosely, my brother.
What do you mean loosely?
Okay,
I'm quoting you.
Gentlemen, can we move forward?
What's the report? Bring the report. What's the report?
Gentlemen, can we move forward?
Share the report.
Alex.
That's not you. I've never been indicted or accused by any international organization for squandering any.
Nobody said he was indicted. I said he was accused of corruption.
He was never accused for any corruption. I'm not being accused of any corruption.
Accusing
Listen,
someone
Peabody, you gotta mute some people, man.
Let's go on that issue. Okay.
All right. Before we go forward,
let's get back to the issue. Let's
go back to Peabody.
Let's go back to the Senate.
You got to be able to mute some people if at all the bickering.
I don't have that power to mute it. I can just ask them to be quiet or be quiet. I don't have to.
Right.
Yeah, we are responsible people. Everybody's going to mute us.
We're
exhausted. We're exhausted.
No, but what you're doing is not responsible.
We're exhausted.
No, it is responsible. So that we just having some exchange here. We disagree to agree.
No, but we have to be civil.
You can't come and start disrespecting people like that, though. We can't.
No, but that's not civil.
No.
Back and forth like that. Can we? Do you know how many times the man said that we need to move forward?
Mr. Dillon, you need to understand that this is a platform that we disagree to agree. Your reckless thought process, retreat.
But you can't say that.
You know how many times somebody said that we need to move forward, and you guys are not doing that. You know how many times the man said let's move forward?
We disagree to agree. Your statement was very reckless.
We do this.
It was not reckless. You going back and forth is being reckless.
No, we can't.
Your statement was very reckless.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think we apologize to the guys. They are not.
Your
statement very reckless.
We talk about
reckless statement.
If there is a moderator, if there is a moderator, if the moderator says it's time to move forward, let's respect that.
But Dillon,
I've got to move on.
Let's talk that.
I've got to move on. People will go back and forth with each other, but we don't mute them or try to disrespect them. We don't.
Exactly.
We just wait and give them.
I'm not disrespecting anyone.
One of the former mining company, Janitor Mason, the former deputy minister, Bob Williams.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on, guys. The Senate.
Thank you.
Highlights still going on in the Senate. Amara came up with another story today, and all of that. I want to get your feedback on this. Let's go from Toga to Robert, Sylvester, and then we come to Gongo, and then Dillon.
Yes, so we will try to always give the benefit of the doubt to the person in charge of the state. And just before running into the Senate issue, we give the president the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this whole establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court. We're watching the president. I think this is a legacy thing. If President Bouaga does not bring about this War and Economic Crimes Court, this will have a taint on his records as president of the country. The Liberian people in their millions are yearning for this. So we're not going to take statement from whether people have personal interaction with him. He said he will not bring it, this, that. I think he's taking steps towards the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court. And I'd like to publicly commend the president for this. And we're looking forward to seeing this happen. On the issue unfolding in the Senate, it remains troubling. It's good that Senator Amara Kane has taken an initial step today by returning, I think, $1,740 of daily pardon that was given him, that he has already returned that money, I heard, to the Central Bank of Liberia. But for me, that is not enough. We always say this. When the poor man steals, we beat him in the streets of Monrovia. When the rich man does sin, we call it big book or embezzlement, all sort of stuff on it. It is not in the place of a senator who is a crafter of our law to go and do something outside of the law. Then you come back and you say, I correct him and say, I take the money, I carry it back. These things call for prosecution.
Yep.
It's serious. It calls for prosecution. You can take a decision and you can't take 2 steps back so we can pin you as injured. It's the same way Senator Dillon has been performing in our Senate. This man sat with the citizens of Monserrado and made a decision along with the conscious citizens of Monserrado and said, going forward, if I even get 10,000 in a billing, I will be giving you 5,000. And I will only take 5,000. Few days later, the man who and the people agreed together and made a conscious decision, goes to his rehabilitation center and say there to the people that, oh, the money I say I was going to be giving you, I will not start using it on my rehab. You and who agreed on that? When you sat with the people and made a decision along with the people, you can't want to just wake up and just overturn that decision unilaterally. It's unfortunate. Now the House of Representatives too, I'm hearing between now and Monday should also be going to for another retreat at Farmington. I don't know. I think they put something in the budget.
But I understand, though, but
I think they put something in the budget for this retreat to make a lot of money out of it.
Toga,
so and interestingly, just before I go, interestingly, somebody said that something sinister about this whole retreating, because a group of people who meet every day, see each other every day. What is it? Every 2 months, 3 months, they want to go for some kind of retreat. It's like some kind of huge allotment is there for a retreat, and people want to source the money out of the national budget. It's unfortunate. And just before I close, we always beat on the legislature, which is good because we directly elect these people. But there are a lot of similar benefits and allowances in the executive that we will also talk about. Too many. And sometimes the reason the legislature can make such appropriation to themselves is because of what they see appropriated to the executive. So we'll also be talking about this. You can get ministers, take for example, ministers of the government. They see 40 to 45,000 other the people in the legislature too. In fact, at their homes, they get national security people all there. Every minister in this country rides with a policeman in the front of a car. Their security at their homes. They get these C allowances and packages. So sometimes when the legislature gets ready for the budget process, they say, okay, send the minister, then eat the money. We post on to ourselves. It's a whole, government thing. It's not just about the legislature. I see many days we pounce on the legislature a lot, but we have to understand that this is across every government sector. They do these things to the Liberian people, and it's troubling. Thank you very much.
But I understand from reliable sources that the House retreat is being sponsored by the UN, the UNDP or something like that. The UN is going to shoulder that responsibility of the House. So just to make that clear, that's what I've got, and I've even gotten. I'll put that in the chat room, but I've even gotten the whole agenda that they have sent. It's going to be surely not non-government, on the government pocket and things like that. But why is Amara returning $1,700 if you know that it was the right thing that he did? Why would he be returning that, Robert?
So let me first of all state this, and I think I've been on the record for.
Is there Robert next to talk?
Yes.
All right.
And let me just say something, Robert, before you go. I'm not taking any of your time. Toga, we sat down here, we listened to you, even though we didn't agree with everything we said, but we civilizedly, we listened to you. Stop interrupting me or other people when they're talking, please. Robert, you can continue.
Just go ahead without mentioning anybody. Go ahead without mentioning anybody. But if you can't,
you
do it all the time. You do it all the time.
No,
you want to talk, nobody interrupts you.
When you ready to talk, don't call anybody's name.
Whoever name I call, this is a panel discussion. The thing where I didn't disagree. The thing where, yes, when I'm done, then they can respond. Just the way how you're done, I'm going to respond. Nobody going to interrupt Robert, but you learn that, to give our colleagues the respect to finish speaking, whether we agree with them or not. Thank you.
So let me say, and I want to be unequivocal here, right? I do not, and I've never, and I would not now support what the legislators have been doing over the years, budgeting for themselves thousands of dollars for what they term as constituents visit. I do not believe that lawmakers should be in the business of collecting or being paid or compensated to go back to their people, report to them, and or inquire or update them or inquire about their needs. I do not believe they should do that. I think that they get paid a whole lot more to be able to take a drive to their counties, their districts, and communicate to their constituents about progress that's being made, bills that have been initiated, championed, and so forth and so on. Amara Conan is no exception. I want to be clear because I know us, our Liberian people. When people know that you have friendship with certain people, they say, oh, when it comes to their friends, they will not speak. No. When wrong is wrong, it doesn't change who the characters involved. Wrong is wrong. And so this happened 2 years ago. This happened 3 years ago before Amara Conan came into the 55th legislature. So it was wrong then, it's wrong now. And none of us should support it, especially when schools are lacking, especially when we have a flooded city. And we mentioned this. Was the retreat necessary? Yes. Did they have to do it now? And did they have to spend the kind of money they did? Absolutely not. But I have a small disagreement with Toga. I think, again, in as much as we do not like that, and I will term this as a broad daylight robbery to the Liberian people, that this continues to happen with absolutely no mechanism for accountability. No one who accounts to ensure that $10,000 is spent for a constituent visit. What is it supposed to be for? And who do they report to? What are documentations to follow up to show that every penny was spent for the purpose given? I do not think this is how development works. I do not think this is how you build infrastructure. And I do not think this is how you bring about changes. However, I want us to be clear. This is no stealing. We may not like it. We may think that this money should be used and budgeted in other areas that are needed, education, so forth and so on. But this is legal money. This came from the Ministry of Finance. This is budgeted. The same way we will frown on the budget of the House Speaker, for instance, is the same way we will frown on this. But should this be considered stealing? No, stealing is when you take from people what's not yours. This is, even though we don't like it and we don't agree with it, we don't support it, but this is not stealing. And so I will stay on this platform that I commend Amara Conan for returning the money. But I wish he would have done more. I wish Amara Conan and others would have said and spoke out on this issue and said, look, we are aware what is in this budget for us. We do not support this. We think these funding should be redirected in other areas. And this is what we would do. And I'm glad that he returned this back to the bank. But this is not stealing. And one other thing I want to say is this, my brother. We have, as a platform and a credible platform, whether we agree with certain things or not, this is the reason why I try to do my due diligence. We have got to be careful with what we say. The other platform ran and said that $10,000 or $700,000 was spent on retreat, which was not factual. This was not factual at all. That each senator were given $10,000 for retreat per dam. This was also a big lie. I'm glad that Amara Conan mustered the courage after he did his due diligence. Remember, he is not part of the committee on Senate finance operations. He's not. He's the chairman of the Integrity Committee. He does audits. And so I'm glad that when the information came out, he did his due diligence, got the facts, and against all odds, he was able to release those facts today, and he's doing the right thing. I wish he would do more. But until we have people with strong character and people who seriously wants to see changes in our country, people who will stand up without any fear of what may come, until we elect people who understands that our involvement in politics is more about changing the lives of those less fortunate and not enriching ourselves further, this will continue to happen. If I was elected senator and I don't agree with 30,000 constituency visit, and I don't agree with all of these unnecessarily lavish spending, I alone cannot make these changes happen. The least I can do is speak up against them and say, look, I am not going to be involved. And this is what we expect of Amara Conan and others. But until we have serious people who are perusing these documents, making these laws, and going against this on principle, this will continue to happen because we have more vampires in Congress than we have decent people who are about the people's business. This will continue to happen. So I don't want to say this was stealing. I've never said that Dylan was stealing. I said Dylan lied. This is not stealing. This is a approved legislative budget directly issued by the Ministry of Finance. But it's wrong. It is absolutely wrong, especially when thousands of Liberians cannot afford a single.
I just want to respond after you.
It is wrong.
Dr. P.
So
Bali,
can I respond?
I want to make a correction, Toka, then you can come in, please.
Robert,
I understand you are not a financial person.
No, Alex, can I take a second?
Let me finish. I won't be long. It's a financial crime thing.
To comment right after.
Respond, I
understand that. I'm asking to just make a correction with him.
I want to respond.
Because what he's saying here is a complete misinformation. I want to educate him.
It's my time.
Robert.
Because the man say we're not stealing.
Embezzlement, the definition of embezzlement means so you don't go out and steal this again anywhere publicly, right? Stealing and embezzlement is when people were the definition of embezzlement is theft or misappropriation of funds. When you misappropriate funds, it's equivalent to stealing. Once you put it on yourself, that's what I'm saying. Everybody will get a chance to speak.
Mention nothing more than 10,000 for DSA.
Just for your own benefit, right? Your brother was here the other day. We're asking the same question. When you invest, it means you appropriate money for yourself. That's stealing. That's corruption. Okay, you don't have to go and steal it from the government account. So what the senators are doing is equivalent to embezzlement. That's the same as stealing. In fact, that's the most form of corruption.
They took beyond government threshold.
Go ahead,
DSA.
Thank you,
10,000 LD.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And
you know what? I'm not carrying the money back, brother. That is the reason you get it back.
I think
took beyond the threshold.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I listened to my dear brother Rabba. I think he struck very profound and important point that he went on here, and I'm thinking, and I will use that as a basis of moving on. But there are some fundamental problems we all got with this process, and I disagree with the way the process went. But again, in part, I agree with the process in terms of, as a policy person myself, I do agree that in public policy development, the state should support its own responsibility. That's a policy orientation process. The state should support its own responsibility. But here's why. When Amara Crown was Minister of Finance and Development, first Minister of Finance, the third Minister of Finance and Development Planning, the first Minister of Finance and Development Planning, he initiated a very strategic process that improved our budget system, the Open Budget Initiative. And that's one of the reasons why today some of us celebrate tremendously Amara's leadership role he brought. He inculcated or instilled in the PFM system in our country, our financial management system. Now, when Amara brought this Open Budget Initiative, it was meant for the people to know what is happening. It is because of what Amara did years back. Today, we are now talking about what happened just yesterday, about this amount of money. And that's where some of us, as his GM colleagues and the rest of that, disagree a little with him. And there's reason why today you see him returning the money. Now, in the Open Budget Initiative, it was meant, then it was even, there's a huge big bowl in front of the Ministry of Finance. But beyond that, there was this citizen action book that was being published and printed by the Finance Ministry through the legislature, that people in the various constituents will get to understand the breakdown of the budget activities. And in that process also, it was on the reign of Amara and the rest of that, then John Molu, the Auditor General, they brought this issue about, when Molu just left, Amara came, this issue about even ensuring that the PFM law is enforced, the Public Financial Management Act. This issue about how we spend money and how we do things, it should be in accordance with the PFM. Our local traveling ordinance, we have 2 traveling ordinances, 2. We have the international traveling ordinance and the local traveling ordinance. It's where it's on the basis of this, Amara is returning this money today. Sections 3.892 of our local traveling ordinance state that when a government official is traveling, or we should have this, it should be like 25 miles out of Monrovia. 25 miles out of Monrovia. If it is not 25 miles out of Monrovia, they should not take a daily subsistence allowance. It is in the law. 25 miles. Now, Buchanan, mine, because of my own former boss, I'm tired of the bars of putting I'm our area there. So, Buchanan is more than 25 miles granted. They shouldn't have taken that amount of money to talk. And it's defined. It should have been $150. The equivalent in Liberian dollars, payable in Liberian dollars. So if you look at the and the law also states, the ordinance, travel ordinance states that it should be determined by the current central bank rate. The money should not be in US dollar, Liberian dollars. We've had some conversation with the big brother. The big brother is returning the money because he believes he slipped seriously. And that's part of the reason. And wise man, as we all know the rest of it, will do the wrong thing, sometimes they don't understand the process here. Now, is this money, if the legislature of Amara is in Siscoli, we're going to consider this as a constituent purpose, the money will have been justified. The money will have been justified. And from the policy perspective, that's where I'm coming in. But if you allow this as a local transportation allowance, via our local travel ordinance, they were basically the same. Now, I will come back quickly to the NDI, the National Democratic Institute. It's a big democratic institution here based in Washington, D.C. I can recall when I was then assistant minister at the level of the former foreign minister and myself, Besmo Garfinde, we had along with Marjorie Var, we visited their office here in Washington, D.C. They supported, and they said about this, they supported the institution of democracy and believing the democratization process needed to be lifted. They supported, they bring behind supporting retreat and the rest of that so that we have a rethink of policy process. We need to recalibrate in terms of policy making. It's important to go for retreat. But this should have been based, the money, the news, it should have been particularly placed into constituents review visitation process. That would have been justified. But the issue about how they went about it, and that's one of the reasons why Amara is doing this. And I believe, again, I don't know how the consultation process done from Amara perspective, along with the pro tem and the rest of the code, because sometimes when you do this kind of thing, the first person to move, you start to have some internal problem among your colleagues. Now, Amara is, and there where the problem is. And that's what I thought Amara shouldn't have made a mistake. There's going to be some problem. The court is going to believe that Amara let her down. We can say that brave way.
He did the right thing. He should have
he did it right.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah. So quickly, part of that, that is basically the point. So we all need to believe that the the retreat issue was not a wrong thing. It was part of the process to something, but the decision Amara made was meant to placate. Let me use the English word, to placate most of his followers. And I think it was a justified move he did, and I would have done the same on a most serious note. And I believe that's part of the process.
Let's go to Kedabu, and then we'll come to Mr.
So we are closing the argument. He let down most of his friends, just like the Lord let down his mom. So I will take it from Pio, and I will just appeal to Pio and Toga that I sat here and they spoke. They said things I didn't agree with.
You got me whole bush again. You got me whole bush again. All
right. So here's what in context is what I was saying. No one has argued against retreat. But let me say this. Contrary to the argument I heard from some of the panelists, the amount of the retreat is not yet settled. You recall that Senator Corner, immediately when the issue came out of the $700,000, he was the first to speak on the matter. He said only $50,000 was spent for 2 days retreat, and everything went in the Buchanan economy. You guys remember that? That was the first reaction, and he said he was being transparent. He said, having consulted with the relevant committees, I can say for the record only $50,000 were used, and everything went in the Buchanan economy. That is why he said he was very emphatic that as a senator, he was speaking on record. Few days later, the story changed. Now, the same Senator Cornyn is now writing that the total amount was what, $565,000. So we are getting there from 50,000, being very emphatic. So that jump, I don't think it's even exponential. It's so huge. I think I still believe they use probably more than $700,000. Here is what I would say. Like Sylvester P. said here, when Senator Cornyn returned that money to the central bank, it has caused problem in the Liberian Senate. In their chat room, there is a leaked chat from the Liberian Senate chat room now. That Senator Snow wrote this. He said, Senator Cornyn deceived his colleagues. And if you want to be transparent, you must be fully transparent. He says Senator Cornyn only spent 1 day in Buchanan while they eat 2-day money. He should also return 1-day money. He also went on, Senator Snow went on to say, Senator Cornyn received money for furniture in February, and he also received money for furniture in June. He must return also the furniture money. Senator Snow went on in our chat. It's on Facebook, it's on social media. There's a leak chat that is going around. Senator Snow also went further. He said, if Senator Cornyn wants to be transparent, he must disclose the full amount that was spent on the retreat. That's implied that $565,000 is not the full amount. Guys, let's brace ourselves for more to come from the Liberian Senate. This is nothing but, like I wrote on my Facebook page last week, and some people try to take issue of it. There is a guy, a Kenyan, James Ngugi Watiango. He wrote a novel, Devil on the Cross. Any of you can take time and read that. It's on Amazon. I bought it. I read that about 30 years ago. In that novel, he set a stage with the colonial power calling them thieves. That he set a stage in Nairobi where there was a competition among international thieves. And I argue today that what is happening in Liberia today is a competition among thieves in public service, in public glare. There is a competition among public thieves of different ideas on how to steal from a national coffers. I believe in that with my soul. But here is what is also important. The act of the Senate was in violation of critical laws. The PPCC Act, they spent more than $75,000 on the retreat, logistics. If you hire services in a month of 10,000 or more, you must advertise. You can't do shopping method. You must go to PPCC and get the appropriate clearances from there in order to proceed. The Senate did not do that because the senators did not involve the procurement office in this. So they were in violation. Like Sylvester P. said, they also violated the local travel ordinance. So this Senate violated critical laws. I would think my recommendation would be if there's anything called the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, they should cease of the matter now and begin to investigate the Liberian Senate.
All right.
They should cease of the matter now and begin to investigate the Liberian Senate because the Liberian Senate has become a center for competition among thieves.
All right. Mr. Dillon, let's go to Mr. Dillon. Mr. Dillon, do you think Senator Cornyn was misled by his colleague? You know, because now we have a lot of stuff coming up. We'll touch on that later. But what do you think? Do you think Amara or he was misled?
Okay, so no, I do not think that he was misled. I think what I remember when Darius Dillon first came into the Senate, and I think there was another senator there that told him that, listen, you know, when you come in here, we do things here one way, and you're coming in here, you're saying that you want to change this, you want to change that. But I want to warn you, when you get in here, you see that we all work together. I didn't understand that, but now I do. And I'm not quoting word for word, but generally that was the statement he made to Darius Dillon when he was coming into the Senate. And now I'm noticing that yeah, you know, a lot of people talk a good game, you know, during the campaigns and all of that, but when they get into the Senate or the House of Representatives, I guess it's like what they call groupthink. So they get into the Senate and then they start following and doing things the way everybody else is doing things. And when someone from the outside shine light on it, you catch the hand in the cookie jar, then they may slide back and give the cookie back and say, "Oh, oops, look what I just did." But no, 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 he wasn't misled. That's how they have been conducting business. So I want us to just keep just one or two things in mind here, right? The United States of America, right, is a 22 trillion to 25 trillion dollar economy, right? While Liberia is a 3 to 5 billion dollar economy. But yet and still the people in the House of Representatives and the people in the House of Senate make as much money in Liberia as the senators and representatives in America. Think about that, right? So now what I see, like in criminal studies, or when it comes to corruption, right? There's something called regulatory capture, right? Where the person who is being regulated is controlling the regulator, so therefore regulation cannot happen, right? I would say what's going on in the Senate and House of Representatives today, right, is what I would say personal capture. Whereas the people in the Senate who are supposed to conduct the business of the people in the benefit of the people are doing it for their own personal gain. So because of their own personal gain, they have captured the Senate and used the Senate as a means of enriching themselves, right? And in response to what my colleague here, Mr. Gangwa said, and I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your last name correctly, but
Gagwa.
he said that it is. Well, I'm a Boston too, so I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce the name properly. But you said that it's not criminal, right? But we all went to school, right? And we know that there's a difference between ethics, morals, and criminal, right? So just because something is not a crime, it doesn't mean that it's not wrong, all right? Because it may be ethically wrong, it may be morally wrong. And what the Senate and the House of Representatives doing when they're using the stick to enrich themselves, that's ethically wrong. Even if they've not passed laws against it yet, it's wrong. Because we live in a country here where slavery went on for 400 years or 300 years in this country. It was morally wrong. It was ethically wrong. But it took years for them to pass laws against it. So it doesn't mean that because it's not criminal or because it didn't violate any law that has been written, now that means that it's right. No, it is still wrong. And so please don't say that when you say, "Oh, gee, you know, they didn't break no law. You know, it's not criminal. It's not a crime. It's ethically wrong." When you have people struggling to find one cup of rice to eat, when you guys are paying yourself hundreds and thousands of dollars a year, taking that straight out of the government coffers, then why should we defend that? So yes, it may not be criminal yet, but it's ethically wrong. It's morally wrong. If we want to move our country forward, we have to do the right thing by our people. And doing the right thing by our people means that we have to put the people first. We have to put the future of the country first. And what they have been doing, pillaging the coffers of the country for their own personal gain, like I said, I would call that regulatory capture. I would call that personal capture. And I say that that's wrong.
Yes.
To answer your question directly, to ask me if I think that he was influenced by his peers and all of that, no. When these people get into the House of Representatives or into the Senate, they start to dance according to a different drum than all the things that they spoke of when they ran for campaign. And I think that is wrong.
Okay.
Quick
Hold on, Sylvester.
quick
Hold on.
information. We don't. Our lawmakers don't make more than the lawmakers here. That is not true, and we shouldn't mislead the public for this kind of
They
thing.
make just as
That is not
much.
true.
If that's
It's
why,
not
okay,
true.
but look at the
That is not true,
disparity I
and
made.
that's why
Look
for
at
me,
the economy.
I love to stand clear on these things. Our lawmakers don't make more than the congressional men here. That's not true. I've challenged it.
They make just as much. The difference is not that. If you look at the economy,
it's not true.
I'll still correct it. But if you have a $5 billion economy and you're making just as much as someone that has a $25 trillion economy, why would you even bring that point up?
I just thought to inform the population that we don't make that. That's not true what you said.
Look at that.
7:30. We got.
That's what I'm saying. A $25 trillion economy, you're making just as much as someone in your country is broke.
We got 30 minutes to go.
Sylvester, please, I have an argument here. But this is not enough. I can prove that Labrador legislature made more than we can
prove
look
it.
at
It's not true. You can prove it.
Bring your proof. Put it up. Bring your proof. I haven't checked this.
You can prove it. It's not true.
Even if it's within the same ballpark, look at how much the economy in this country generates as compared to the economy in Liberia. How much the economy in Liberia generates? It should not even be in the same ballpark. It should not even be in the same
I agree
ballpark.
with that analysis of the law. I agree. What you just said, I agree with it. But it's not the same amount.
They do make more.
That means your statement is irrelevant.
I agree. No.
That's not point.
You said more, and that's what I'm trying to.
Oh, that's my point here. We haven't heard from Senator DeLong. We have not heard from the chairman on judiciary, Augustine Chia, who wrote that beautiful statement when Bouakai was bringing Yellow Machine into the country. Beautiful something he published. Probably the Yellow Machine on the way, and everybody have forgotten about the Yellow Machine and stuff like that. But what do we make of? According to Catapult, this rumors or this leak from the Senate that's going around on Edwin Snow. There are some people we know in that Senate. They are complete hustler. They don't care. They will get the money, they will take it, and they come out and do other things. But do you think Amara did the right thing? He said, you know what? I don't want this money. I'm going to return it. Alex, what more can he do?
He did not do the right thing. He was caught. It's a difference between. Look, first of all, let me tell you what one of the issues, right? The first crime the man committed, he took more than what is allocated into law. And Smart News has a beautiful article out there where the law provides that you should take about $50-something a day, right? He took $400-something. He stayed there one day and he took $1,700, right? So it's not a question. So that's corruption in its true form. The man was finance minister. You won't tell me that he does not know what the daily allowance is? That when they were giving him the money, somehow he was confused. He needed. So no, he wouldn't did it because of the pressure from the media. The pressure, nowadays. Before, when you were in government, you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have independent show. The journalists that you could get $100, they would not print nothing against you. Even today, we have to find some of the stooges. Even when the evidence is clear, even when the minister come out and admits he collected $1,700 when he should be collecting $100-something for his visitor. Is that not corruption? If we really had serious government right now, prosecution will be going on these guys. Jesse Johnson's son, Jr., served a prison sentence for the same misallocation and fraud. So he didn't do anything right. He didn't do anything right. He was pressured to do this. He was caught. They delay and try to defuse the situation, and we did not relent. And that's why he's shamed now to go out there and say, I'm going to return the money. He committed a crime against the state. He took money that should not have been allocated to him. He pocketed the money, and then when he was caught, he returned it. Thank you.
Yeah. He returned. Okay.
Let me add one.
Let's give you this.
I want to give you information while they react to it. Ellen Snow also said in this chat, because I'm reading the chat, he also said in the chat that tomorrow he will return every single penny he received for the beginner retreat.
Okay. Well, yes, it. Let me ask you this question.
Are they making sense? Are he will return it?
Judah, let me ask you this question. Amara Collins might like to run to be president of Liberia. Eric Snow might like to run to be president. Is this something we see unfolding here with Eric Snow and Amara Collins? Is that something that is unfolding?
You just cannot wait. I can see it in
And
the
and Dr. Peabody,
We have
I
the
think it's also
record.
very,
We're waiting
I
for the
think it's
debate
also
in the
very
cafe.
important.
You
It's
see?
also very important that what Kelebu has, that he can share it with the team.
Yeah,
and
share. We don't talk about you.
Lofa can display those. I don't see why it will only be only on his decks. If he has some of the screenshot and he can verify that those screenshots happen in the chat room, it's good for us to display it for the public. It's good for the
Chat room. I just put it there. Click on it.
Okay, thank you. Lofa, go ahead. Lofa, go ahead.
That's a
So,
great point.
Let Lofa can display
please
it.
don't interrupt
Let
Lofa.
Lofa
I just
display
put it
it.
right there. It's there. Read it.
Let Lofa display it. Let it. It's not for me. It's for the public to see it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Get
Lofa,
some information. We put it on the show platform. Let
That's
people
true.
see it.
Lofa, please
Well,
click on it.
Toga, will you allow me to at least have my 2 minutes so you can wait for your display? Thank you. So, Dr. Peabody, you know, I was following this entire conversation. By the way, guys, I'm sorry that I came very late, but I could not wait to join this particular conversation. Like my brother Robert said, and he's absolutely correct when he said I could not wait to be a part of this conversation, because this would be probably the first of many times for me to agree with Alex Chuchu on a particular topic, right? When it comes to Amara Kane and his attempt to deceive the public because of his interest in the 2029 election that is upcoming, and that of the Snow and other people. Let me remind you, if you can recall, Darius Dillon attempted the same kind of showmanship, and eventually it ended up as a charade. Remember when Darius Dillon and others took the $30,000, and Darius Dillon said he was going to return the money? Where is it today? Where can we actually account for that amount of money? Nowhere. Amara Kane, who actually served as a finance minister, Amara Kane, who had been critiquing the previous government times without number, and is up to date based on his economic background, based on his experience in government, and everything else that comes with it. Are you sincerely telling me that this man was not aware that this money was actually included in the budget after they even sat there and they had a budget recast? Go back to one of their colleagues who actually disclosed this. I can play the video for you guys. Amara Kane is not doing this because he's honest. Remember, this is the same individual who told Liberian he will be at the forefront of making sure that true transparency exists. And in order to do that, he will make sure that his asset declaration is made and published for public consumption. Up until today's date, Amara Kane is still telling us that he's evaluating his properties and doing all of these things. My thought on this entire thing, there is no way anybody in their rational mind should believe that Amara Kane is trying to be honest. It is the public outburst that got him embarrassed, and because he's trying to save face for future opportunity, so he's here pretending as though he's trying to be transparent. And I can see why Robert would feel disappointed in a man that you sincerely believe in to be transparent, because if that was the case, he would not have waited until the public started to yell at him before he made that move. He would have done it before anybody else even mentioned it. And then he would have been like, you know what? When I realized that this was wrong, I took the first step. I went ahead, I returned the funds, or I notified the public of it. He didn't do that. He instead said he wanted to investigate. But now that we are here and he's seeing the outburst from the public, he's out here. How is it that Amara Kane and other people in a country where our people are living in abject poverty, in a country where students cannot afford to go to school, in a country where people are dying from curable diseases, for Amara Kane to sit there and accept this amount of money and pretend as though he and other people now are concerned? Let me remind you, the Edwin Snow who today is pretending that he wants to return the funds. Remember the 30 and more thousand and so many years that he accepted it. These people feel like they can simply bamboozle their way through the system, and all of us are supposed to buy into it. Just like Ty Wombi today would say, once you become a part of the house, you're not supposed to oppose anything that your colleagues would say. He posted that on his Facebook page. And I said to him, I said, how is it that these young men can think this way? No wonder why sometimes Liberian oppose the idea of buying into a diaspora Liberian attempt to serve in leadership. You know why? Because of the comment that Ty Wombi made to the talking about once you go there, it's almost like once you're a devil, don't tell on the other devils, because Amarikana is doing what all of us expect of him. So Ty Wombi is now going out to publicly shame him. And that's why I'm telling you it's a cahoot. And these guys are purposely doing these things. If no one mentioned it, they would not address it. Thank you.
All right, Julius.
Must agree with you, Loco. One of the days I agree with you.
Robert. Robert should be next.
Thank you.
Robert should be next, guys.
Okay,
Robert's
next.
next.
I will go ahead and wrap and send it up. Yes.
After that, we'll go and wrap it up.
Also display the
Thank
text
you.
message.
Can I have my time, please, sir?
Robert, go ahead. Robert. Robert, but before you come in, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Display the text messages, man.
Senator Conant returned the money. Why is everybody going after Senator Conant and not going after the guy who wrote business class and said that
Jalon returned his money too?
Why are they not going after Nyamli Kanga? Why are they not going after other people? Go ahead, Robert.
Well, Doc, I think that there's the expectation level is a little different, and I think that's the reason why that people hold Amara Conan, to a higher standard when it comes to doing what's right, and people who knows better are expected to do better, and so I think that's the only explanation that I'll say to this, and it's crazy that. We will compare him with Dylan, whom I believe is a pathological liar because he lied, right? He said during his campaign, the government should not be buying cars for government officials, and then he said a lot of things that he did not follow through.
I agree.
And so I think that was a little kind of different. But notwithstanding. I've been unequivocal. I don't know why the people keep mentioning my name in the messages. I support Amarikana. No, I do not. I said, and I think Dylan and I said the same thing. I said that I do not support lawmakers, regardless who it is, taking this kind of money for themselves when institutions and other serious issues should be the priority. And I said that it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong yesterday. It's wrong today. I would never support what is wrong. It may not be illegal. It may not be criminal, but everything that is legal doesn't make it right. And I think I've been pretty consistent, Dr. Peabody, on this issue in my position where I stand on the issue. I've never said that collecting this kind of money was right. It was wrong. It was wrong when they did it last time, and I said it. The question here is, how do we get this resolved? How do we get this resolved? And I believe the way we get this resolved is to elect people of like minds, people of characters, people who truly understands their core responsibilities as lawmakers. People who understands their purpose of public service, that public service is motivated by changing the lives of the less fortunate. And look, I do not believe that Amarikana needs to take home what he takes home monthly, like many other senators. I agree that there are a lot of poor folks who got elected that had no money before they got elected, and so these guys are trying to make up for lost years. If I was elected today, God has blessed me tremendously. Do I need to make $15,000 every month to maintain a lifestyle? No, I do not. Would I accept $1,500 or $3,000 right now to work in a government position, either minister or deputy? No, I would not, right? Because I'm not at a position in my career to make those kind of choices or make those kind of sacrifices. But when you decide to serve, there are sacrifices that comes with service, especially in the field of lawmaking. And so it's wrong. So my people, stop calling my name. Stop saying, I support it wrong. No, I do not support wrong. This is wrong. Look, what is the mechanism for accountability when it comes to the constituency visit? We said this. Why should lawmakers take money to go and build bridges in the counties when the government, the state should be doing that? They still have a Ministry of Public Works. All infrastructure development should be done through that because there are rooms and mechanisms for accountability. The Senate and the House Committee on these things should be holding these guys accountable. So I would never contradict myself. Start trying to contradict me for yourself. I didn't say I support it. It's wrong. But is it legal? Is it budgeted? Is it budgeted? It is budgeted. Just how we think that the pay they get paid is too much, at the end of the day, it's budgeted. So you
does that make it right?
I'm sorry?
But Robert,
Does that make it right?
the amount that he took
I just said it.
beyond-
Let me land. I just said it. It's wrong. It doesn't make it right. My question to you and I is, how do we change it? It doesn't make it right. It's wrong. It doesn't make it right. But what I'm saying to you is,
Robert,
at the end of the day,
Let a man land. Let a man land so you can respond. Let a man land.
At the end of the day, this is wrong. How do we change it? And the
I see men I can be crying in people near you.
And the best the best way to change this is to continue to elect people who understands the true meaning of public service. And I will say this for the last time, and I will leave this alone. I don't think Amara Corner should have accepted that money to begin with, and I will commend him for returning it. I do not think he should have accepted it. I would not have accepted it. I do not think why I think that the retreat was necessary. I do not think the timing was right, especially when I said it last time. The city is flooding right now. I mean, the university students are protesting right now. These funds should be going to areas of priorities, and I think this is where judgment comes in. The judgment of the retreat being right now was wrong. And last but not the least, out of Peabody, why not have this retreat somewhere in Monrovia, where each of these guys drive to their respective places and have the retreat to save money? Why not do that? Right? And so this is wrong. I do not support it. I didn't support it then. I would never support it now. That's my position.
Yeah,
Robert, I just want to respond because I got to run.
Yeah.
Lofa, please take all my time in the closing.
No, it's not you. It's my time, please. No, it's my time.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me let you finish that.
Yeah, myself running. Quickly. I listen basically to Lofa, right? But and I agree basically they shouldn't have taken the money, and we all agree to this. But Lofa, let me say to you, my dear brother, a good leader, those kind of a leader that do servant leader, and those leaders that do listen to their followers, right? The fact that he returned the money, he said, "Oh, we got the public pressure." No, he listened to his followers. It's not because of pressure. Now, in professional life, there's something we call professional slippages. Everyone do slip, and when you slip, the intent, the level for you understanding that you slipped and you try to recover is very important, particularly in leadership. Globally, leaders do make mistakes. We've had the leader of the free world also sometimes make mistakes. The very good one will come and apologize on open television. Bill Clinton did this, right? Other leaders have done it before in terms of the way they will do things, either from the morality perspective or from other leadership perspective. It is genuinely important here that we capture the reality that Amara, I agree that he made a lot of mistakes. I mean, some mistakes, and he corrected those mistakes by returning the money. But no, and I agree, Snow, I knew where Snow is coming from. We have some other political people. That's why I said from the initial stage that there would have been some comeback for him. Most of the colleagues would believe that he betrayed them. And some of what you see Edward Snow coming off now, is he saying that he's trying to come and save face? I think, and for me, and that's what I've said, if you made a mistake, sometimes to correct it, there would have been a kind of a unanimous decision where he now agreed to return the money together, but to be the first man to return the money, I thought he also called for this kind of attack, and I would expect other lawmakers to go after him.
So you think Alex Snow is returning his money because he saw Amara?
Of course, I think if you don't return the money, the public are going to go after you. The fact that Amara returned the money, everyone's going to return the money. Everybody's going to return the money. Yeah. Trust me, everybody is going to return the money. So we say that today, right? Before I leave, between now and next week, Wednesday, you're going to hear that everyone has returned the money.
I doubt it.
Now let's take 2 minutes. Let's go to Calaboo.
It has to be a precedent set.
Dylan and Lofa. But let's go to Calaboo.
Can I just speak since it's very late for my end?
Okay.
I need to go.
Okay, since you gotta go, let me
tell you before he speaks, let me just say this general thing, my opinion on not on this matter, but on how we do the show. This whole idea that we are all sitting here, we make our time to come here and speak to the Liberian people, and some people can say, "Oh, can I speak? I won't go." So at the end, you have the 2 persons. If you want to leave, just leave.
No, Calaboo. All the way in Liberia. I think we get.
No, for the guy in Liberia, I can understand, but
you should give him the most credit.
Just
the guy in Liberia.
To say that.
Kerebu, you did this before independence. You are taking your sons.
Yeah, you did it. You're going to tennis game, please.
Kerebu, you did it before.
You're going to tennis game.
Kerebu, you did it before.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And Kerebu, you know that you know.
Toga, before you come on, I want to ask you a question. All right, before you touch on that piece. There are a lot of CDC lawmakers in the House. Now, why I said that the executive is not working with the House. All the senators are getting thousands of dollars, getting all the benefit. Why are they not getting the benefit in the House? Is it because they are CDC or what? Then you go ahead.
So what's happening now is that the Senate seems to be getting more benefits and allowances than the House of Representatives, and that is bringing a rift. When you heard the Speaker the other day say he's going to shut down the House, and you know that when the Speaker shuts down the House, it's going to affect the other House, because technically those two houses work in unison. One always got to pass one bill and send it to the other one, for concurrence and all that kind of stuff. So it's becoming troubling. In fact, the information I got, before the Speaker's position, there has been some commotion in the building, for which some of his colleagues felt he was getting some special benefits, and so they were running on him and all of that. So the executive branch made available, I think, like 2 months of some of their benefits. That's what I understand. So like gas slip and all of things, they provided like 2 months. But I think the problem from the legislature is that the legislature does not have autonomy. I think they need to work on an autonomy for the legislature, like the way you have the judiciary. The judiciary has autonomy, so they don't have those sort of issues all the time where they got to be running back and forth to finance ministry to get their money and all of that. Well, just from a devil advocate's position, one of the reasons, I work in the legislature before. I worked with the Senate press session before. And one of the reasons the Senate will put together all these packages, and when you're not in there, you'll be thinking, why they always apportion these things to themselves. It's because the executive, that is the implementing arm, many a times they divert themselves to legislative powers. Like before Ellen left power, almost 50 to 60% of the people that work in the executive during Ellen's time ran for legislative office. When Ellen was wrapping up, everybody. And these same people are the implementers. So then the legislature started sitting by and said, no, these people are implementers. We're supposed to be here making laws. But the public seem to be believing in these implementers more than us. Take, for example, if you send money to a county for county social development fund or county's development fund or something like that, the person who runs that county development fund is the superintendent. So the superintendent, for example, like my county, like Bassa, says over $1 million every year from Metal Steel, plus what comes from the executive. So you say around 200,000 to 300,000. So I mean, the superintendent of my county, for example, will be managing $1.3 million. Now, once the person is leaving as superintendent and the term is expiring, they are running for legislative office immediately. Check around you. Basso has never had a superintendent, except for I think one or two, that never ran for office. Immediately they are leaving the office of superintendent, they are running against one of these same lawmakers. So then the lawmakers start putting money in the budget for themselves. That's where some of these debates are coming from. So the public has to understand where some of these debates come from. Why is the legislature apportioning this sort of money to themselves? Because if they don't do so, their jobs are at risk by these same implementers who sit in the executive. So when we're talking about why lawmakers giving themselves all the money, we need to also be talking about why is it that people sit in the executive and contest against the legislator, and there is no law holding them accountable. Even the code of conduct is not respected. You say to be a minister, if you want to contest for office, you must be resigning 2 or 3 years before the election year. They don't do it. And the executive or the implementers of the code of conduct don't hold these people accountable at all. So at the end of the day, the mayor will resign only 1 month to the election, and the mayor go face a legislator. So let's weigh in all of these issues when we want to raise issue with why the legislature is sometimes apportioning the money to themselves. We have to understand how these things work and why these people are doing what they are doing, because many a times their jobs are at risk by the C implementer. The people who are implementers got to be put in check. If the law must be respected, the law must be respected. If the law says if you're a minister, if you're an appointed official, 2 years to the election, you must resign to go contest, then you must resign. You can't be resigning 1 month to the election and go face a lawmaker for the lawmaker not supposed to go. That's why you got legislative for all the things. Those things ain't used to be there before, but the lawmakers started putting these things there so the second law implementers too. So let's look at all these laws. I just wanted to put that across.
All right, Alex, thank you. Kelabu, now you can go ahead.
I'll listen to Kelabu before I go. Yeah, please.
So what is the central question then? Because I think he took us to Basso politics. What is it? So people, I'm asking, what is the central question? Are we on the legislature?
No, I just throw that question in that. I mean, we had the speaker threaten to shut down the House because they were not getting the benefits. But on the other hand, we saw the Senate have probably gotten the full benefit. And is it because of a lot more opposition in the House, sedition, or is that why the speaker? I mean, is that why they are not giving the benefits? You know, that's why I wanted to add that question.
Well, here's what I would say. I have some connections in government, but so what I'm going to say is not official, but what I've heard, unofficial, what I've heard from some people at finance ministry is that I think beginning Monday, the Liberian government should be engaging the IMF for some review or what have you, because they are on our IMF program that is supposed to curtail some expenditure also. And the size of the house, expenditure is so huge. So because of that, they kind of try to smooth down spending on the house until they go through the IMF review. For the Senate, it's a smaller group, so they can deal with it. So as soon as they go through this IMF review, they will start releasing all of whatever bylaws they have for the House. That's what someone from finance ministry told me, and that's unofficial because I actually pinged the person down there. Hey, so why you guys want to allow the executive to use your hand to beat for nothing for the House because the executive mansion does not want him? But the person gave me that explanation, and the person is a senior official at the Ministry of Finance. But that said, I want to pivot back to this corruption saga at the Liberian Senate. Some of the panelists spoke on this matter, but I think my expectation is I read Senator Snow reaction, the leaked chat from the Warsaw chat room. I read that keenly, and I think what I'm going to predict is I'm going to disagree with Otoga and Sylvester Neo-Progressive, Sylvester Peel, who say by next year all of the Senate might have returned this. What I think going to happen here is I think more debt going to be dug out. More debt going to be dug out. The money they've been receiving that the public does not know, other senators will start to come and say, hey, Amara, you received this one too. Why you didn't disclose it? I think this is what's going to happen. And I think in reaction, Senator Connaughton will come and say, yes. So maybe all of this, for the first time, the Liberian people will get to know what is the true salary of a senator. All of this, Rickman, I mean, this infighting that is coming up. And I think this bleeding is good, is going to be good for the public, because the public will going to get more information out of this bleeding. Because I know Snow, if he take a fight, he's going to go full blast. He's going to disclose a lot.
But do us a favor and read that text message for Liberians on the radio to hear what's
here is what Snow wrote.
Thank you.
And this is a leak from the Liberian Senate chat room.
Thank you.
And it reads, I think my friend Amara Conan should have refunded the entire amount he received in both United States dollars and Liberian dollars. Refunding a small portion of the Liberian dollars in the name of transparency, in quotation, at the detriment of 29 of your colleagues, says a lot, and I'm shocked and most disappointed. My late father always told me the reason why we kill snake is because it moves alone. Your loan decision to refund a small portion, I'm not seeing this one.
The small portion of the money you receive has left
you
with more.
Has
with
left
more
questions than answers. Okay, I think there's another piece to it. Switch to the next piece.
Let me see if I can get the second one here.
Yeah, just click next.
All right, there you go.
Senator Slow went on to say, he said, one, these are the questions that Snow asking, and these are the critical ones. We received money for furniture in February. Why are you receiving money again for furniture? He's asking Senator Connor on this.
Yeah.
Will you replace the furniture you got in February that was paid for by the Liberian Senate? Then Snow continued on the second question. You spent only 1 day in Buchanan. So why are you receiving 2 days of committee work money?
Whoa.
Amara, your action is wrong and has brought serious embarrassment to all of us. And then Snow end with this.
He said, "Oh, you got exposed."
Yeah, you got exposed.
We got to expose them. Yep.
No, so he actually say here, this is what he said, you should say the whole truth about the entire amount you will receive. So what Amara is disclosing, like I said, is not the entire amount. In this chat, Snow is saying disclose a full amount. So that $565,000 is not a full amount. And that's my argument. More to come.
Is Snow even being honest about this thing? I think this thing is that, look, take it or leave it. Snow want to be president. I might want to be president. So I will start hating him right now. We'll start punning each other and all of that. I mean, I'm not going to talk too much into that. Let me go to Dylan, but I think something not right in that Senate. They're exposing each other, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
I'm not going to get into it until I get the actual fact. But that's a leaked text. So, Dylan, your point on this. Your 2 minutes, and then Julius, and then we wrap it up because we are running against time.
Yes, I think it's just about time now that we put the country first, man. It just like we see the same story over and over. People want to get into a position of public trust, but when they get into these positions, we see that they're there for their own personal gain and not there for the people. And then some people are more crafty. So when some things are exposed, they, in the hands are caught in a cookie jar, they may put the cookie back, but that doesn't take away from the fact that what you're doing is wrong. And I don't think it's excusable. Like Mr. Pugh said, okay, yes. So since he gave it back now, it's a good thing. So that means now going forward, if anybody steals anything, right, when they catch you, just give it back, and it's okay. I mean, I don't know anywhere in the world where that is acceptable. So it's almost like the rules in Liberia. It's so different from anywhere else in the world. Once they get it back, and we say, okay, yes, that's good. That showed leadership. That showed that he's a, like Mr. Piru said, that showed he's a servant leader. Come on, man. What's wrong is wrong. We should say that it's wrong. We should stand against wrongdoing, and people need to face consequences for wrongdoing. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Julius.
I mean, in closing, it was a great show, but let me just say this again, and I'm glad that Keribo read out this entire leaked text as to what is going back and forth, what is going on. I remember, I think it was 2017 or something like that, or 2020, when DeLon attempted to do something similar. We know what happened. And somebody mentioned that these guys are going to return whatever they receive. That is not going to happen. They would justify the reason why the funds was given to them. And guess what? They will base their decision on the legal aspect of it. Is it legal? Yes. Not everything that is constitutional is moral. Okay. And let's just understand that part of this thing. Looking at a country where our people live in abject poverty and our people can barely afford admission to universities, then we are taking this amount of money and pretending as though we are supposed to be okay. And this is why I frown at people who continue to dwell on this idea of, hey, you're the most popular person, so let's buy into your idea, as compared to doing our own evaluation, assessing the possibility of you serving as a true leader for the people. Instead, we're continuing to fool our people about you're popular, you're this person, you're the best person, you're the name. Going forward, you will hear the likes of Edward Snow and Amara Khan being mentioned, possibly to represent our people at the highest level in the country. And there would be permanent Liberian from the diaspora and Liberia who would simply side with him because they are colleagues, they are friends, and so they want to align themselves with him and not to look in the interest of Liberia. And like DeLon rightfully said, it is time that we start to look in the direction of more. Go ahead. Did you want to say something, DeLon? Go ahead.
No, I'm saying for the first time, somebody even said when you get the money back today on the show, somebody said you get the money back, that's sign of leadership. What is that?
Exactly. So this is where we find ourselves, and you will hear permanent Liberian, because some of us disagree with them. They will take offense to it, but this is not about you. It's not about anything else. It's about Liberia, and that's the reason why some of us will stand as loners and will continue to fight for a better Liberia. He did nothing different than what DeLon is doing or did before. They both were cut with their hands in the cookies jar, and we should shame them and hope that they actually be held accountable for the deception, and not to simply throw it under the carpet and say they're exhibiting some level of true leadership because they're listing and return the funds. That's not how it works.
Guys, it's been great having you guys. Sorry we can't take no call tonight.
No. But before you go, Mr. Peabody, how do you feel about it? I want to put it on you before we go. I want to know how does Peabody feel about it?
I already share my view. I mean, it's nothing going to change about Liberia. Liberia is a place that people will go and do the same thing. I don't care what you do. So from my teen age to now, it's still nothing has changed. I still see the same people in government. I still see people that when I was 10 years old in government is still in government and all of that. So nothing has changed. So I rather
you saying there's no hope. You saying there's no hope.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised what happened. I'm not surprised because the country is corruption is very systemic there, and so I'm not surprised on what happened. I'm really not surprised. That's why I'm not even making a big deal of it, because the next 2 years somebody will come again and do the same thing. Look at the guy look at Abache. Was Abache chairman on what? Public Works? Who was indicted? You put him on a lucrative position like that to be chairman on that? What do you expect going to happen? Liberia is a country where nothing, accountability is nothing, and anybody can do anything and walk free. They don't care. The law is really not effective in that country. You don't have a credible justice system. You know, people just boast, Liberians are folks who are just boast about how the amount of book they know and they got this and they got that, they graduated from the university, they got law school. We are just people of public big mouth. Liberia is what we call public big mouth. We gather in places, drink liquor, and make big mouth, and nothing become of it. We are public big mouth. Let me put it that way. Big mouth.
So how do we change that? How do we change that? Or there's no hope. There's no way to change. All right.
We need to go back to the young people and stop in our schools and start dealing with these 7th, 8th graders and show them a different way of thinking. We showed that video earlier where the kids were talking, said that our dad can no more come back home because they can't even find the food. We got no hope for the future. And that's exactly what Liberia is. Liberia is public big mouth. Say that among Liberians. And the first thing somebody will tell you, they want to know who they are.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Without even you asking them, sometimes you just sit with somebody to have a conversation, you know who this person is. But Liberia will want to prove something to you.
Yes.
Even in the diaspora.
So,
Liberia do it.
Guys,
so
I got to do that.
Do you agree with the statement that was made today that when your hand is caught in a cookie jar but you put it back, that's a sign of leadership?
Well, it's a sign of admittance. You admitted to doing it, and that's why you carried it back.
Right.
You admitted you did it, and you also admitted you were wrong, so you took it back. But notwithstanding, you admitted to it, even though you regret the decision. You know, people go to court and they apologize and say what I did was wrong. You know, but they said, but Liberia is a country where tomorrow you will see people in the street again. You will see some professional people in America, other things, wearing that hat and say, this is the person. Every single want to be president of Liberia. Guess what? When it comes to 2029, see who will be arguing with you. Some of your best friends, folks.
Some of your best friends.
Those things don't move me. They don't move me at all. Stealing and corruption in Liberia, it doesn't move me at all because it's the norm. And it's acceptable. They find it very acceptable. And nobody wants to do anything. The justice isn't weak. You send somebody to court today, somebody will say that an anti, and the next thing you go there, wrong. Everybody saw you were wrong. You can be acquitted in a minute because you probably won't even go to court and stuff like that. So those things, I don't look at Liberia any real serious country because Liberians sat there and put one old man in power who is appointing another old group of people. Anything will get any change? Nothing. Unfortunately, that's my country. I'm speaking like this because I go to Liberia 2 times every year and I do major work in different villages where Liberians are suffering. So I know what I'm saying. Nothing is going to happen. You think you know what $10 can do in one village in Liberia? You probably can provide water for thousands of people in the village, clean water for them to drink. Thousands of children can go to school on $10,000. Okay, our country is not ready. We ain't even talking about the one the executive doing right now. We just understand it. We're not even talking about the money that executive what they're doing right now, the stealing and doing all kinds of stuff. We're not even talking about that. Okay, this very senator sat there and begged for the public work minister after he violated PPCC law. That ain't a serious country there. Look, I don't want to talk. Let me end here. I'm done. All
right, man. All right, guys. Good night.
Good to see you guys. DeLong, Mr. Caribou, Gunglo. Then we got to play tennis together one day. I got to call you. Huh?
You play tennis?
A little bit.
Yeah, let's play.
You play tennis well?
Very well.
All right. Gentlemen.
Get it up there now. Get it up there. I don't know if you can still go toe to toe with a young man like me now.
So, DeLong, that's the interesting part about it. I mean, Eric can leave. We can stay here without being